Bournemouth and Manchester City lining up in the tunnel, ready to come out as the pyro is flying into the air. And the home side's probably gearing up for this, with a Guns N' Roses Welcome to the Jungle blaring out, with our club legend Steve Fletcher calling on the fans with a video message on the big screen saying, "We need our Red Army." And yes, there may be players out for Bournemouth today, but they've certainly got some match winners in the sides. But then so have Manchester City. And the two lineups are on the move. Out they come to this tiny stadium, which is packed to the rafters. And why not? Bournemouth have never been beyond the quarterfinals. Is this their year, or will City get to the semis yet again? Well, Villa Palace is one semi-final. Let's sort out the second semi. Wembley and Forest await the winners. Bournemouth take on Man City. Here's FA Cup finalist Troy Deeney alongside your commentator on Talksport, live and exclusive, Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Adrian, and a very good afternoon to you from Dorset, barely a mile from the south coast. And it was here that the tide changed. When City came here back in early November, they hadn't lost in 32 league games. It was a run that stretched back 11 months. But their 2-1 defeat saw the rot set in. They've lost nearly every other league match since. Now, as they return here, they need a shot of vitality. And whilst the top 5 finish will see them salvage something, the FA Cup is their only chance of silverware in what, by their extraordinary standards, has been a desperate season. Pep has admitted that even that wouldn't paper over the cracks. But if it's been City's worst under Guardiola, it may well end up being the best in Bournemouth history. 5 points from the last 9 games will give them their highest top-flight points haul. Their first ever place in the top 8's in their grasp. They're only 4 points away from the Champions League spots. And if it hadn't been for a recent wobble, their position would look healthier still. They can supplement that today by reaching their first ever major cup semi-final. And if it looks a daunting task, that November win against City will underline that it is still eminently possible. But the Cherries are without 2 of their sought-after defenders through suspension, with Howson and Kirkes replaced by Senesi and Soler. Brooks is in for Tavernier. Taritha Malaga in goal. Cook, Zabani, Selesi and Soler. Adams and Christie. Brooks, Cliver and Semenyo. And Eva Nielsen up front. City makes 6 changes. Edison back from injury in goal. Back 4 of Nunes, Kusanov, Diaz and Guardiol, who start together for just the 3rd time. Kovacic and Gundogan, Silva, De Bruyne and Foden, and Haaland up front. And a quick reminder of who's on the bench. Bournemouth, Scott, Ouattara, Smith, Jebison, Hill, Silcott, Dubry, Akinboni, Winterburn and Dennis. And for Manchester City, it's Marmouche, Grealish, Doku, Gonzalez, Vitor Case, O'Reilly, Lewis, McAtee and Ortega. The referee is Stuart Atwell. Delighted to say that Troy Deeney is alongside me. FA Cup quarter-final. There's not a lot of major cup experience in this Bournemouth side. Certainly not winning games like this. How much is that a factor today?
Not really. It probably worked in their favour. A little bit of ignorance, a bit of bliss. They're going to get after it. Very interestingly, worked a lot of Man City games. Just seen them break out from the huddle, go straight to their fans, try and get the fan base interested. So I think that's something they've worked on over international break, trying to rebuild that connection with the fans, the emotional connection. They know this is going to be a tough game today, but for Bournemouth, this is a wonderful, wonderful occasion. Just look all around us, Jim. Everyone's got the shirts out, we're in the sun, everyone's expectant. What a day, what a day.
So Manchester City aiming for a record 7th successive FA Cup semi-final. Bournemouth looking for their very first. But November saw them beat City for the first time in their history. Can the Cherries write another chapter today? Manchester City get us underway. They're kicking from right to left, attacking the Steve Fletcher stand here. Bournemouth in their red and black striped shirts, kicking from left to right towards the Ted McDougall. end of the ground here at Dean Court. Long ball forward from Edison. High one that swings straight out of play for a throw that will be taken over on the far touchline in the Bournemouth left back position. The first touch for Julio Soler. Well, we touched on him in the build-up, Troy, but it is a hugely significant day for him up against Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think it's also a game that could see the future for Bournemouth. I said it with Aid in the build-up. There's a lot of talk of Kirkes moving on potentially to Liverpool. Even City has been mentioned. It's a game for him to go up against arguably one of the best teams over the last 5 or 6 years. One of the best talented English football in Phil Foden. Let me show you what I can do. And with an £8 million price tag, yes, it's a lot of money, but in football terms, there's no pressure on him. Go and show what you can do. Everyone expects Man City to deliver. If they don't, this is not going to be on that young man, so go and enjoy yourself.
City in possession of the back. Kusanov with a touch getting it back for Edison, and he will clear straight out of play over on the far touchline, which houses the travelling Manchester City supporters. They also have a part of the McDougall stand away to our right-hand side as well. They brought about 1,800 down to the south coast. A glorious day here in Dorset with a lot of the pitch covered in sunshine. Ball right in front of us with Lewis Cook. And continuing in this role as a makeshift right back, but he's fitted into it so well over the course of the season in the continued absence of Adam Smith. Smith back on the bench again today for Bournemouth. Ball at the feet of Kepa Arrizabalaga, himself a former cup finalist. And swings a high ball forward. Should be easy for Nunes to volley away. Goes in towards Foden. Now the free kick is given Manchester City's way. Foden caught and just being helped back to his feet here by Bernardo Silva. And a free kick that Kovacic has taken, another player with so much experience, not all of it good in this competition over the past. And Kovacic, who was sent off, one of only 6 players ever to be sent off in an FA Cup final. Runner-up in this competition 3 times. Finds Kusanov here, lays it back for Edison, not given too much time by Evan Nielsen. Edison got the ball away, kicked it away clean. He maybe just caught Evan Nielsen on the side of the rib cage, possibly on the follow through. Certainly it was just a genuine clearance. He did actually catch him maybe on the inner groin. A sore one for Evan Nielsen. He's back on his feet, eyes watering, but he's okay. He's going to be able to continue.
There's 3 balls gone back to Edison that have been wrapped into him, tested his touch. Everyone has found the final third, but out of play. I'm just watching how this Man City team are building with kind of a 5-2-2 going on.
As Christie plays it forward, Kusanov has to give chase. Kluivert putting him under pressure, and Kusanov, has he conceded the corner? Yes, he has. First of the day goes Bournemouth's way.
Ropey start for Kusanov. A couple of times firing them back into Edison, not giving him away to pass. That's a simple ball down the line. Just see it out. Gives away a corner. Something that Bournemouth will fancy themselves with the 2 big centre-halves coming up now.
So Kluivert to take it. And Sabani and Senesi are both there. It's rolling short in towards the near post for Semenyo, and De Bruyne read that particular script and just knocked it away easily. Yeah,
Semenyo wasn't set. Kluivert was. Weirdly, on the edge of the box, Cook had everything open there. Maybe 16, 17 yards worth of space, so that's something to just watch moving forward. But I do also think, and I was just saying in that build-up, the way that City have got this back 4 and then the 2 and the 2, and they're allowing Bernardo Silva to go and float, so sometimes he's dropping as a 5. They're leaving the channels open, and Haaland has to exploit that just down the left and right hand side, because it's a ball now, it's a flat race with him just down the left hand side, and you'd like to think that they will get in 1v1 with any one of these Bournemouth centre halves, and they have to utilise that, not just play all the ball in front, because that's what Bournemouth want you to do.
Here's Christie playing the ball through the midfield. He's given it away. Vardiol to Kovacic, and now towards Haaland, who's got an exemplary FA Cup goal scoring record, helped with the 5 goals that he scored at Luton in the 5th round last season, but he is a goal a game man in this competition in his career. Edison, his bright yellow boots and fluorescent orange goalkeeping garb, away to our right. He plays the ball towards Kusanov. He slams it forward straight at Kluivert, and immediately Bournemouth start applying the pressure again. And that's one thing that they do so effectively. Good counter-pressing team, if not the very best at it in the division. Semenyo winning it back from Silva, and then coming in and trying to win it back from Gundogan, who's caught him. And it's a Bournemouth free kick in the midfield.
It should be a yellow card. You can see again just that turnover at the ball in the midfield. And I don't mean to talk this disrespectfully to this Man City midfield. Silva can't run away from Semenyo. Kovacic is having to dive in because he hasn't got the power to get close. And then as Semenyo bounced off both of them, again, Gundogan, exceptional football player, not known for his tackling. He's got away with one there. That should be a yellow card. But he's having to stretch. And I just feel that midfield, if they don't keep the ball, they've turned it over 3 times already, if they don't keep the ball, the legs and the energy of this Bournemouth team will catch up and will run all over this Man City team.
Those are the thoughts of Troy Deeney. You're listening to Bournemouth against Manchester City in the FA Cup. Game day live on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus. Please drink responsibly. Free kick's not square, then Lewis Cook pings a long diagonal through the penalty area. Semenyo going out of the left-hand touchline's brought it under control. An opportunity for Soler to take it on, comes to the edge of the box and almost got himself into a shooting position, but would have had to have had a crack with his right foot. Didn't fancy that, so he's laid it back instead. And then when Kluivert plays it in, it's over Brooks and goes straight out of play for a goal kick. It is a glorious day here. Temperatures on the rise. I mean, it's not quite as warm as Troy's garb would have you believe, but it is getting there. But a beautiful advert for this glorious part of the world. And a very good morning to you as well if you're listening in North America on Sirius XM FC across the United States and Canada. Here's Kusanov. Good ball down the right-hand side for Phil Foden, who's drifted out there. Soler's done really well to deal with him and kept it in as well. And by doing so, was able to poke it forward towards Kluivert. Semenyo's in there, but Senesi wins it back. Senesi just rolled the ball with his right foot onto his left and chipped it forward. And then Evan Nilsson's given something to chase. Ruben Dias, that was a horrible ball back for Ederson. He got it away. Kluivert tries to pick up the loose pickings. Gundogan's brought him down. Well, if he escaped a yellow card for the first one, he's very much in persistent infringement territory as he commits another foul in a good position for Bournemouth.
Again, though, the ball back, it's a nice, simple ball over the top. Diaz just fires it into Ederson. He's got no choice but to react. It breaks again, and again, that midfield, I said it once and I'll say it again, Ilkay Gundogan should be yellow carded by now. That's a blatant foul with Tyler Adams going on to try and get a shot off. But a wonderful advert again for Bournemouth. Set the trap. Don't just try and play in front of them. Turn this Man City back line. Get running after them, and they will give you chances. This has not been a great start for Man City at all.
Well, the City fans looking into the sun over on the far touchline, and the view from there can be difficult. Where as the sun comes down a little bit, you are really peering into the full glare of it. They're in fine voice, plenty of applause going on. They're great City songs, but they haven't had much to watch from their point of view in the opening 8.5 minutes. Bournemouth, not quite dominant, but they've made the better start. Free kick here that Brooks and Kluivert are orchestrating. The City have a wall right on the edge of the penalty area, and it's rifled well over the bar by Kluivert, who came pretty close to hitting the cameraman at the back of that stand.
Yeah, not very good. He's tried to shape it. Technique's a little bit off, gets under the ball, and it's high wide and very, very ugly, unfortunately, for Bournemouth. City have got to figure out this build, though, because the obvious one is to just...
Ederson very nearly turned into trouble as Kluivert was pressing him on the edge of the 6-yard box. He wanted so much time. He barely had all that he used. He slams a long ball forward intended for Haaland, and Cook can get it away.
Yeah, again, this build for Man City is just inviting the pressure. And when they do get over the line, now you need runners. Now you need to get in behind, and they've only got Haaland willing to do that. Everybody else is to feet.
Gundogan, De Bruyne, Haaland back to Gundogan again, and coming forward to his right-hand side is Bernardo Silva, corner of the penalty area. Right-footed ball whipped inside the box, and Haaland should have scored. He's headed it wide from 7 yards out, free header, and he tried to just feather it into the bottom left-hand corner, but he didn't get enough on it, and he's gone wide. It's a massive let-off for Bournemouth there.
Yeah, it's a great ball from Nunes down that right-hand side. It's a great you know what, he should hit the target. I don't think he should score. It's a real tough header, just because Zabania has just got his head just in front. So just at that split second before, Jim, he can't see the ball, but he has tried to guide it. Should hit the target. If he hits the target, absolutely he scores.
Well, he will feel by his standards that it should have been his 30th goal of the season and his 120th in Manchester City colours. He's battling again here, and Adams is involved and just got something on it. Aretha Balaga more than at liberty to come out and catch that. It wasn't a back pass. Adams has stayed down. He's on his haunches for a moment, and so Aretha Balaga has said, I'm not going to play the ball upfield until Adams has been looked at. Now, the American international, you talked about him being an unsung hero. I'll make you exactly right. He and Christie really underpin everything that Bournemouth do offensively, is because of the diligence of those two. But Adams has had a horrendous time here on the South Coast through injury. Yeah,
absolutely. But he's a good working kid, just does his job, doesn't try and stay in the limelight. Interestingly, just in that though, where he's had Haaland plus Kevin De Bruyne have a little nibble at him. Man City trying to intimidate him as well, stand over him, get up, no problems. Interesting just to see the psychological edge that Man City are trying to get today. Tried to get the fans involved early doors, and now they're trying to say we will not be beaten from a physical point of view, which is something we wouldn't say about City, and it's a pen.
And they've got a penalty for a handball. Manchester City getting the decision from Stuart Atwell. Hand raised by Adams. It will of course be checked, but I'm sure it won't be turned over. Just bobbling about inside the penalty area as Bernardo Silva took a touch. He just tried to flick it over Adams, who instinctively just threw a right hand out. Now, that's not in a natural position. It's actually hit him nearer the elbow, but it's not a natural position. He's not got a case here.
And that's it, Jim. I don't actually think he's meant to. What he's done there is kind of tried to shimmy his body along. Because he's shimming his feet around, his arm's gone up. And it's just unintentionally hit his arm. It's not a handball, but it will be a handball by the letter of the law today. What will not be overturned, and you'd expect Haaland to take this. Was it 120 goals?
If he scores, it will be 120 goals in 138 City games, which is all right.
There was a gentleman to my right hand side who was talking not too long ago about him having a bad season. That'd be goal number 30, won't it?
30 and 40 if he puts this away. You have to say if. He's missed a couple this season. One against Sporting Lisbon, one against Everton, but he has scored 4 out of 6 from the spot, and he's got the opportunity to give Manchester City a 13th minute lead here against Kepa Arrizabalaga. Haaland has spotted the ball down and stands over it, and then takes 4.5 steps back. And he runs up, hits it left-footed. Arrizabalaga saves it, diving to his left. Was able to gather it. Just no pace in it from Haaland. Went for precision. Arrizabalaga gathered it, didn't spill it. Straight out of his hands, launches it upfield. And now Evan Nielsen's brought down by Kusanov. And it's a free kick on the left-hand edge of the penalty area at the other end of the pitch. Haaland's penalty saved by Kepa Arrizabalaga.
Great save, and you can hear this crowd. It's got them up. I have to say, it's an awful penalty from Erling Haaland. 2 yards to the keeper's left. He's kind of fell on it as opposed to diving, and he didn't no clean contact at all. Just a close-up of him there on our TV screens, shaking his head. These moments in games, isn't it, Jim? If he scores that, this crowd settles. It goes up the other end, and now Kluivert's got an opportunity to shoot cross from the edge of the area.
From the bottom left-hand corner of the penalty area, he fires it in, Ederson punches it away. Back out towards the touchline, where Kluivert's touch is good. Second one's not bad either. He checks back, away from Gundogan. Hits in a high right-footed ball towards the far post. The worst touch he's had today so far. It was overhit. And Gvardiol's going to be able to bring it away and flick it off Zabani and out for a throw to Manchester City. Haaland seeing his penalty saved, and it's still Bournemouth 0, Manchester City 0 here on Talksport.
Well, we was expecting a good game, wasn't we? I think Aid said in the build-up, Kepa has one of those moments where he can go and score.
Here's Evan Nielsen winning it back. Again, Bournemouth's high counter press effective. Brooks will try and take over. As he won a corner, no, it's just been flicked into him by Silva. And off the Welshman's white boots and out for a goal kick that'll be taken by Edison. 15 minutes of drama. Bournemouth 0, Manchester City 0.
Aid said, didn't he, in the build-up, Kepa has one of those games every now and again where it's they shall not pass. And that could be the catalyst for this Bournemouth win. Going and saving it, not only saving it, keeping it in and getting them on the counter-attack very, very quickly. Just noticing that Bournemouth are just coming down this right-hand side with Kusanov and Nunes. They're looking at that's the weak link, so any opportunity they can, they're in.
Now poor touch from Adams as Haaland is onto it. Arriva Balaga stumbles and Haaland's put it over the bar. 15 minutes in, he's missed a header from 7 yards. He's seen a penalty save, and now through one-on-one against a stumbling goalkeeper, he's missed the target.
Stick the lottery on if you're a Bournemouth fan, because he should have a hat-trick by now, definitely 2. I'll put my house on him scoring from there, by the way. It's going through it's a poor back pass from Tyler Adams, and as it's gone through, Haaland's just running away from the centre-halves. He's tried to just feel it with a little bit of a dig. Unfortunately, got too much on it, and it goes over the keeper and over the bar. He will feel this 15 minutes can't get any worse. But the good thing for Man City and for Haaland is he's had 3 chances in 15 minutes. So he will feel that there'll be more chances and definitely goals in this game.
Well, Adams, having given away the penalty, was the player that was culpable for that opportunity as well. Just poking the ball back, was never likely to get to his goalkeeper. Haaland racing onto it. And Arriva Balaga stumbled, and maybe that just put an element of doubt in Haaland's mind. Now City work it forward down the inside right channel, and Kepa comes out, sweeps up that one, heads it away past Haaland and out for a throw that'll be taken on the Manchester City right-hand side. 16 minutes gone, Bournemouth 0, Manchester City 0, despite, as Troy said, no more accurate words, he could and should have had a hat-trick. Foden will bring the ball forward here for City. Plays it through the midfield towards Joško Gvardiol. The Croatian back in field for Kevin De Bruyne. Ruben Dias has got it now. Edge to his right-hand side for Kovacic. Kovacic in the sunshine of the centre circle, the shadow of this main stand, just extending out almost to the left-hand edge of the centre circle as we look at him. Christie's in there, putting the pressure on Kovacic, who can withstand it easily, and lays it back towards Edison, brings it outside his penalty area to get Manchester City going again. 40 goes towards Phil Foden. He's got more than 300 Manchester City games behind him now. Kovacic again getting the return ball, edging forward through the midfield. Foden inside the centre circle, taking a touch and turning it to his left-hand side for Gundogan. Down it comes on the left-hand touchline for Gvardiol. Gundogan has it again on halfway. Back from him to Dias, and the return ball's played instantly. Back for Ruben Dias again. Kusanov in space to his right. And Izbeki is just rolled in there by Dias, and then Nunes wanted too much time to turn, and Semenyo just denied him. And he can bring him forward, and they will run past Foden, who's trying to bring him down and hasn't been able to, and he fires one in, but over the bar.
Really, really good play from Semenyo. Again, wins that ball for Nunes, just more physical, more strong. It's not a foul at all. Nunes is down at the halfway line, basically complaining to the referee that it should be a foul. Nowhere near a foul. Drives with purpose, brushes off Phil Foden. I think he should just square it to Kluivert, but he's earned the right to get that shot off. Unfortunately, can't keep it on target. But again, for all of Man City's good play, keeping the ball, it only takes Bournemouth to run with a bit of intensity, and they're in on goal.
0-0 here, but the deadlock broken in the WSL. Here's Talksport's Rebecca Adams.
Yes, and it's Chelsea 1, West Ham 0, and that goal had been coming. It's been all Chelsea since the kick-off, and it was Micah Hamano who's opened the scoring with a right-footed shot right in the middle of the box in the 16th minute. It's Chelsea 1, West Ham 0. And
Chelsea, if they win that, 8 points clear at the top of the WSL as Gundogan tries to bring the ball forward. Adams was fouled. Christie takes the free kick immediately and hits a long diagonal out towards Semenyo, who did well to time his run and stay onside, but in doing so, just then couldn't catch up with the ball. And it's gone out of play for a City throw in front of the travelling support over on that far touchline. Bournemouth 0, Manchester City 0. This is a Bournemouth side who've lost 4 of the last 6 in the league. They come here without a win in regulation time in their last 5 matches. And City, for their part, only 2 wins in the last 6, and they've lost 11 of the last 17 matches that they've played away from home. They've now conceded more goals away from home this season than they've scored, which just is unthinkable, really, in the context of the previous seasons under Pep Guardiola. Foden. Ball played through the midfield, given away by Diaz. Lewis Cook clipping it into space to his right-hand side for David Brooks. Just rolls across Brooks. Left foot, he stabbed it in. It's back from Clive and in from Evan Nielsen. Bournemouth lead Manchester City by a goal to nil. 20 minutes in to a game where Manchester City's Erling Haaland could and should have had a hat-trick already. But it's Bournemouth that strike first. Cliver playing it across the face of goal. Evan Nielsen getting a touch to make sure it was over the line. Might already just have crept over. But Bournemouth lead Manchester City by a goal to nil. And the Vitality believes that a major cup semi-final could be coming Bournemouth's way for the first time in their history.
Absolutely. What a goal. What a team goal. I told you earlier, Jim, they're targeting this right-hand side. It comes from Nunes. Tries to hit a cross-field pass with his left foot for some strange reason. Gives it away. It then goes down to David Brooks on the right-hand side. A lovely lifted ball to the back post. Who switches off? Nunes at the back post again. Cliver with a wonderful shot. And I think Evan Nielsen has just helped it across the line. So the only check we're going to have is whether he's offside. I don't think he is. But it's a great team goal for Bournemouth. And again, that right-hand side of Man City has been targeted.
Well, it was probably only 6 inches out, but Evan Nielsen is the man that has got the touch. He's turned it in. He scored the winner against Manchester City here back in November. And he scored the opener here today. And what's going through Erling Haaland's mind right now? Here's Gundogan. Nudge to his left for De Bruyne. Bournemouth's high-octane, heavy industry wins it back. It was Cook that time. Now Christie will play it forward. Opportunity to work an early one down the left-hand touchline for Clive that was passed up. But Adams has it now and will play it down towards Soler. Bournemouth 1, Manchester City 0. Aretha Balaga taking the touch, playing into the edge of the penalty area. Finding Senesi and working it back. Right-footed, it's clipped forward out to the left-hand touchline. Soler's touch lets him down and he goes out for a throw that'll be taken on the Manchester City right. Midway through the first half, Bournemouth leading 1-0. Troy Deeney. Excellent
for Bournemouth. I think we have to look at the tactics of Iraola as well. Identifying that right-hand side of Man City. Yes, they've got wonderful players. Yes, they've got high-quality players. But you can't have Nunes at right-back and Kushanov, a young player.
As a left-footed shot comes in that Kepa has done really well to dive to his right-hand side and save. Well hit by Gundogan, coming onto it, unmarked on the edge of the penalty area, rifling it to the bottom left-hand corner. And Kepa did well, full stretch, and was able to gather at the second attempt.
Yeah, great hit. Just bobbled off a fight between Haaland and the centre half of Bournemouth. Couldn't see which one of the two it was. And it's a great first time hit with the left foot from Ilkay Gundogan. Again, City will feel that they will get chances, but if you're Bournemouth, I've just written down in my notes, the balance of this Man City team is perfect for them because no one's running in behind without the ball. So you can press, you can be aggressive because everything's going to be in front of you. And if they just get this 1 or 2 passes right, they'll be in every single time. That again keeps sounding like a broken record. That right-hand side with Kushanov and Nunes will be right for Semenyo all day long.
Come back to that in a moment, Troy. It's been another goal in the WSL. Rebecca?
Yeah, it's Chelsea 2, West Ham 0. Aggie Beaver-Jones adding Chelsea's second with a long-range strike from the left, slotting it into the bottom right-hand corner. There's 23 minutes gone here, and it's Chelsea 2, West Ham 0.
Now Clive running at the edge of the Manchester City penalty area. Flicking into his left-hand side for Semenyo. Brooks unmarked on the edge of the box. Semenyo across the face of the 6-yard box. Nobody can get a touch to bundle it over the line, and it's out of play for a throw. Going back to that point that you were making, Troy, about everything congregating down the Bournemouth left, the Manchester City right to try and take on Nunes and Kushanov. So what does City do to prevent that happening?
Well, they tried to put Bernardo Silva in there, and the problem they've got is when you've got a younger, fresher Justin Cliver, who's able to run off the back, like he did just there, they don't have the legs to get back. So they have to be more dominant with the ball. They have to keep it, move the ball at tempo, like they did for the first 15 minutes, in fairness. but they also need to stop it at source. So go and get Haaland pressing a bit higher up and a bit faster. Otherwise, you will, and Bournemouth only have to get it right once, as the goal has proven. You'll keep inviting pressure down that side, and Kusanov with the ball hasn't been great, neither has Núñez. So they've got to be better with the ball, and hope is a key word, that Bournemouth don't get any better, because I feel like Bournemouth have got another gear or two to go, both with the ball and without the ball.
City working back towards Edison. They're back in action on Wednesday night at home to Leicester, a game that isn't on UK TV, but it is live on the Talksport network. Talksport 2, the place to hear Manchester City, Leicester, 7:45 on Wednesday night. Also on Wednesday, Brighton against Villa, but that's exclusive to Talksport. Southampton against Crystal Palace is on the Talksport app, which you need to download, as Edison comes out and sweeps up and then collides with Kluivert. His header was good enough, and there's no harm done between the collision between the two players. Cooks then caught Foden, and the play is allowed to continue, with Stuart Atwell giving Manchester City the advantage. Ilkay Gundogan getting it forward. Foden picking it up between the lines in space, working it out of the left-hand side for Silva, who can keep it in and find Gvardiol. Back from him to Gundogan. Turned to his left-hand side again for Gvardiol, and then Silva deftly flicking the ball away from the on-rushing Brooks. Plays it back for Gundogan again, and now towards Diaz and now towards Kusanov.
Well, you see that though, Jim, everything's in front of this Bournemouth team. No one running in behind, no threats, so now Bournemouth can get every single player back. Yes, Man City will probably have 15, 16 passes, but it's all in front. For Man City to score at the moment, it feels like everything has to be perfect, and that's a worry, because they're not all playing and they're not all clicking.
Gvardiol goes back for Ilkay Gundogan. Now towards Gvardiol again, left-footed ball in, so ricocheted away off a Bournemouth player and just this side of the corner flag, so out for a throw rather than a corner. Gvardiol will go down to take it. Talking of what's coming up this week, More Life Football Thursday night, Chelsea against Spurs, Talksport exclusive, that kicks off at 8, and Tuesday kick-off with Troy and Adrian and Dean Ashton as well. Going round the grounds, all the action as it happens. Kusanov launch one in from distance. It's hit Adams, who then hares after it and gets there first and plays it forward towards Evan Nielsen. And but for a horrible bounce, Evan Nielsen might have been in. Just trying to get there to be able to knock the ball towards the edge of the penalty area and run onto it. But the ball with top spin on it cleared him, and he just had to retrace his steps. He then wins a throw, and Brooks also busting along to get forward in support. It will be a Bournemouth throw right in front of us midway inside the half that Manchester City are defending, but it was again superb counter-attacking play.
Excellent from Tyler Adams, going out and pressing the ball again. Kusanov, they must have set traps for Kusanov and Núñez, because every time it comes down that side, they know that's the way in. These guys are more likely to give us a chance than the others. I've said it before, we've played teams in the past, and you identify one or two. You're not saying these are bad players, you're just saying they're more likely to take 2 or 3 touches as opposed to 1 and 2, and it just allows you that extra second to get there. But Kusanov, this first 28 minutes, really poor on the ball. They have to get him playing better if they're going to get out from the back.
He's the least experienced player in the Manchester City team. It's only his 76th senior appearance today. The 21-year-old is a man at the other end of the scale, De Bruyne, firing it in, but it's headed away by Zabani. And out of the Bournemouth left-hand side for Semenyo, who has forced back towards his own corner flag for a moment and then hits it forward on the turn towards Evan Nielsen. Diaz dealing with him, but a little bit overzealously, went in strongly, has fouled him. And it's a free kick to Bournemouth just inside their own half. 28 gone, Bournemouth 1, Manchester City 0, with the Cherries taking the lead 6 minutes after Kepa Arrizabalaga saved the Haaland penalty.
Again, Diaz doesn't need to. It's a bouncy ball for Evan Nielsen. As a striker, that's the worst one, because you try to control it, trying to land as quickly as you can to then fight the centre-half, and Diaz just gave him a get-out-of-jail free card there just by bulldozing him into the back of his back there. He could go down and get a cheap foul. Again, you can just see them. They just keep coming down this left-hand side of Bournemouth. Anytime they get an opportunity, just lift it over the top of Núñez. Let's see what they can do defensively. For Man City, I've just written on my notes again, Jim, attacking in hope. It's not as precise it used to be. It's not as cutting edge it used to be. Now it's like, we'll get down the left-hand side, we'll try and cross it and hope for the best. We'll give it to Kevin De Bruyne, I hope he does something special. those patterns of play that we used to see with the 8s running in behind, it seems to have gone. It seems to be a completely different team all of a sudden, one that's nervous. World-class players that are just nervous, and it's really interesting to watch and try and understand, like, who takes hold of this team now. Is it all on Pep, or is it on the players to go and deliver and say, right, for the next 10 minutes we're going to go a bit longer than we'd expect?
De Bruyne, Gundogan flicking it over his shoulder. Haaland going up for it. Adams is there to lock it away. Gone are the days where it's death by 1,000 passes like it used to be when you're facing Manchester City, and Bournemouth on a day like this would just be given the runaround. That simply doesn't happen these days. Bournemouth leading by a goal to nil, an hour away from a major cup semi-final. As City work it forward out towards the right-hand side. It's a great run forward here by Núñez, who can then get away from Semenyo, and Arif Balag's at full stretch to catch a ball that came close to sailing over his head for Haaland. But he is having one of those afternoons, Kepa, and he's got the ball in his hand again.
The original run from Núñez is excellent. A great ball from Kovacic, just dinked it over the top because that high line of Bournemouth. She had a third-man runner from deep. But as he gets there, just flash it across the box. Let Haaland go and get on the end of it. Chops back in unnecessarily. Then does a really poor left-footed cross, and Kepa's going to eat them up all day. But again, just that connectivity between players. You've got Haaland there. You know he likes to play on the shoulder. Him, Harry Kane, they do really well where they start in offside positions. Just fire it across the pitch and let him do what he needs to do.
De Bruyne. That's Gvardiol. Coming in off the left-hand touchline for Manchester City, taking it down towards the corner flag and winning a corner off Lewis Cook, which is Manchester City's first of the day. We've played 31 minutes here on Talksport and across North America on Sirius XM FC. Bournemouth 1, Manchester City 0 under cloudless azure skies. De Bruyne coming across to take this corner. Just adjusts the placement of the ball on the quadrant. Standing in front of Aretha Balaga, 2 Manchester City players. The ball is fired in very deep. Haaland coming round the back, got his head to it, but could only get it into a Bournemouth player. It's scrambled away wide, but there was a push in there from it. And it's a free kick that'll be taken by Bournemouth away to our left.
It's giving it on a block for Gvardiol earlier on in the build-up. But again, even that, you've got Haaland, what is he, 6'3", 6'4", Diaz, Gvardiol, good at going attacking the ball, still trying to be too precise. At this moment, again, don't want to ever tell Pep Guardiola what to do, but you feel like play the percentages. Kevin De Bruyne, excellent from a dead ball situation. Get the ball flashed into that 6-yard box, go and attack the ball, see if you can get a goal from that. Trying to be too precise with every single moment of this Man City team at the moment.
Adams, up and under from him. Evan Nilsson running, and Diaz waiting for the ball to get there. He couldn't drag it into his path. City will try and bring it away. There's a little stumble from Kovacic. He did really well. It was an instant recovery to get back to his feet. I didn't miss a beat and still maintained possession. The bearded Gvardiol has it now on the Manchester City left. City trailing 1-0. Gundogan playing the ball through the centre circle as the shadow begins to encroach on that. Ball goes out towards Kusanov. Now towards Núñez, coming in off the right flank. Kovacic. De Bruyne going out there, so plenty of fluidity in that Manchester City forward line. It's slightly challenged from Semenyo, winning it back from De Bruyne and putting it out of play for a throw. This is the 6th major Cup quarter-final that Bournemouth have played in their history. They've lost the previous 5, 2 of them in the FA Cup. The goal that Evan Nilsson has scored on 20 minutes today, the first they've scored in an FA Cup quarter-final for 68 years. They were a Division 3 South side back in 1957. They lost 2-1 here to a Manchester United team that included the likes of Duncan Edwards. They led for a little over half an hour in that game. The only other FA Cup quarter-final they've ever played in, a chastening local derby against Southampton here 4 years ago. As a championship side, they were well beaten. Nathan Redmond scored twice, but such has been the turnaround in this part of the world that there's no Bournemouth player who played that day who's featuring today. Ederson getting it forward. Now towards Kusanov. City maintaining possession over on the far touchline. Played 3 League Cup quarter-finals as well under Eddie Howe and lost all of those. to Liverpool and a couple against Chelsea. But winning this one at the moment. Vardiol showing his medal, just getting it away from Brooks. Then Foden. Back towards De Bruyne. De Bruyne to his left-hand side for Vardiol. Foden, clever flick back inside. Christie's got it after Adams got it away from De Bruyne. Christie with really good feet. Took on 3 and beat them, but couldn't beat Diaz. And now City will bring it forward. Silva to his left-hand side for Gundogan, and Zabani has got there first. He's played it into him. And it's gone out of play for a goal kick, which will be taken by Aretha Balaga away to our left. This first half's raced by. We're in the final 10 minutes of it already. And it's still Bournemouth 1, Manchester City 0.
And for the first 35 minutes, you'd say, with the ball, Man City a bit better, but still not that clinical, crisp passing that we're used to seeing. Yes, he had 3 chances with Haaland where he probably should have scored at least 2. If we're being hypercritical, he could have scored a hat-trick in the first 15 minutes. But Bournemouth have felt the more in control without the ball, and certainly with the ball, they look like they're going to offer every single time Man City turn it over. You feel that Bournemouth will get in and get chances, and it's a recipe for an excellent end to the half, but definitely for the second half.
Here's Vardiol right in front of us, forward towards Haaland, who only had Zabani with him. He just couldn't feel the ball that was fired forward towards halfway. In terms of the stats, possession 63-37 in Manchester City's favour, which would have been broadly what you'd have predicted, I guess. It was very similar to that in the league game between these two. Attempts 5-4 in City's favour. Now, Kusanov has blocked off the run of Kluivert. They were covering defenders, certainly not a red card offence, but he's going to be a yellow. Kluivert making the run down the channel, and Kusanov knew that he was beaten, came across and fouled him. That's the first yellow card of the game.
Again, the identity of this right-hand side, or the left-hand side for Bournemouth is huge, because it's on to hit the big dive. There's 3v2 on this right-hand side for Bournemouth, but again, they spun it back down the side of Kusanov. They've clearly watched tape and understood that he doesn't like being turned and having to run and face his own goal. Yellow card. Now, with him and Nunes, they're going to have to be really, really careful. I think this is a huge game. We spoke about it earlier with Aid, Jim, that the Man City, I don't feel, have bottomed out. This first half could be that, because we just had a ball played into Haaland. He has to look after it. All he has to do is take control of it in his body and set Kevin De Bruyne off. But just that mentality shift of things aren't going right, I need something to do quickly. He's tried to set it with one touch, missed the ball, and Bournemouth get this counter-attack because of that. Real interesting 15 minutes now coming up for Man City.
Well, they trail 1-0. So they've got a set piece to defend, keeping a line on the edge of the penalty area. Their retreat is flicked in. It's Nessie threw a right foot at it. It bounced just in front of him. It's taken a deflection on its way through and gone just wide for a corner. Could have been 2.
It's really unfortunate there. Ilkay Gundogan, nice little flick. But again, the 2 centre-halves for Man City. Go and defend. I know we talk about ball play centre-half, but defend, do your job. Every single ball now for me, if I was a Bournemouth player, just put it in the box. This City team are just fragile.
Christie taking the corner, it's an in-swinger. Senesi going up for it, it's come off the top of his head and looped up into the hands of Edison, who took 4 hasty steps forward. And controls it inside his box and then rolls it out of the left-hand side for Vardiol. Bournemouth 1, Manchester City 0 here on Talksport. Vardiol playing it forward. De Bruyne followed in field by Cook, is able to knock the ball into space. Nunes has to go up through the gears, but he can keep it in. And he's now midway inside Bournemouth territory as he rolls it down the line past the fullback to Bernardo Silva. High right-footed ball in from him. Haaland stopped from having a good run at it by Zabani. Good defending. And Aretha Balaga could come out and catch it.
Yeah, again, it starts with his left-hand side. Guardiola fires the ball into Kevin De Bruyne. It's a great first touch. Just about makes it there. But there's no fluidity to this Man City team. It's a ball that's been slipped down the side. Bernardo Silva can actually turn and run into the box. He just crosses it aimlessly, puts snow on it, as we say in the game, and it's another one that Kepa can come out. But this is not a fluid Man City team. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I think it's important to just show, yes, they've been okay, yes, they've had some chances, but Bournemouth will feel so comfortable so comfortable with this. Everything is in front of them. And Haaland, dare I say it, looks like he's gone. Looks like he's got no second thing. He needs one to bounce off his backside and go in at this moment in time.
Well, he's been able to flick the ball into the path of Foden here. De Bruyne, whose first touch took him a little bit wider than he wanted to go. He's got Soler with him. He's laid it back for De Bruyne to Foden. Foden to De Bruyne again. Gundogan is target. Bournemouth whack it away. And Senesi able to find touch. In fact, he's found the Manchester City fans 70 yards upfield. Now it's gone out of play for a City throw over on that far touchline. And they're having more of the ball now, but that in many ways plays into Bournemouth's hands because they're such a good counter-attacking team. They will back themselves, as you say, with the fact that City are just playing in front of them to soak up the pressure, turn it over and then sprint. Yeah,
absolutely. And also, again, I said it earlier in this, Jim, but it feels like they have to score the perfect goal, doesn't it, Man City? You just said it there. Kevin De Bruyne to Phil Foden, two 1-2s, and instantly they have to get every single element of that right to just even get a shot off. You don't, and Bournemouth will counter-attack. I just feel at this moment in time, it's a big 5 minutes. Man City need to get in at 1-0, settle the ship, and Pepper's got to do something to change and tweak this team. Everything with his decision, by the way, Jim, to have 5 centre midfielders playing, and now they've got no legs in behind and no one's running in behind. Add that element to it, and I think they can cause this Bournemouth team real trouble, like Brentford did when they had the winning runners of Wissa and Embuemo. Then you have an opportunity to cause this Bournemouth team trouble because they want to go forward, they want to press. At the minute, you're playing into their hands.
Kovacic finding Foden. And then back for Kovacic again inside the centre circle. He's played it to his left for Ruben Dias. Faced up by Evan Nielsen. Dias hits it across to the right-hand side for Abdelkadir Kusanov. The only player that's had his name taken so far. Bournemouth actually have 4 in the starting lineup who are a yellow card away from missing the semi-final through suspension were they to get there. De Bruyne flicking the ball round the corner, it goes out of play. It's a goal kick which will be taken by Bournemouth. I mean, my personal view on that, Troy, I don't know how you feel, that it just feels a little bit too stringent. 2 yellow cards over 4 FA Cup ties rules you out of the semi-final. Obviously, Yates and Nico Williams have both fallen foul of that from a Nottingham Forest perspective. And as I mentioned, Brooks, Kluivert, Adams and Semenyo all a yellow card away from missing the semi-final if Bournemouth hold on to the lead here.
Yeah, I would like to see a cut-off. You know how we do in the Premier League, we get like 5, 10, 15 cut-offs on a certain date. And I'd like to be a cut-off at this stage. Semi-finals and finals are just, they are what they are. They're one competition, knockout rules. At this moment, feels like you're harshly treating the likes of Yates to potentially the biggest game of his Forest career. He should be able to play that, not because he's had a yellow card that he misses it. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree with you. The cut-off should come off after the 5th round and not after the quarter-final. So you wouldn't miss the final if you were on a yellow card and got booked in the semi. But you do if you get a yellow card and you're booked in the quarters. City bring it forward again, and Foden just a little bit too strong on the pass for Haaland. And Aretha Balaga almost takes the mickey out of him. He's got the ball at his feet and he waits for Haaland to come across, and only now does he bend down and pick it up. There's another goal in the WSL for Talksport's Rebecca Adams.
Yeah, it's Chelsea 2, West Ham 1. Shakira Martinez pulling one back, reducing the deficit against the run of play with 4 minutes left until half-time. It's Chelsea 2, West Ham 1.
Yeah, 2-1 there, 1-0 here to Bournemouth, but that's a statistic that doesn't begin to tell the story. The first quarter of this game, Haaland missing a glorious chance with a header, then seeing a penalty save by Aretha Balaga, then moments later threw in a one-on-one but clipping it over the bar before Evan Nielsen turned Kluivert's cross in from close range to give the Cherries the lead. Free kick here is Evan Nielsen's offside. He's then pulled Kovacic back as City started play quickly. Kusanov goes out to the Manchester City right, an opportunity for Nunes to bring it forward. He also is pulled back by Soler. We talked about it being a big game for the young man. He's shown up all right so far, Soler.
Yeah, it shows a level of composure that you would expect in this Bournemouth team. It does look like he's feeling the pace a little bit in terms of not had a great deal of match fitness. Just seeing him there stretching out his calves, hands on hips. So they're going to try and get as much game time as they can out of him, but I'd certainly expect later in the second half that he starts to tire, and maybe that's where Pep's decision to put Doku on that side, let him have a run at him to see what could happen. But again, Kushanov, under no real pressure, kicks it out for a throw-in. Really struggling, this young man. I know they've spent a lot of money on him. I know they feel that he's going to be a good player moving forward, but today he's struggling.
Well, it's considered a throw here as we go into first half stoppage time. Just one additional minute to be played. Lewis Cook working it for Brooks, chasing. Vardiol making no attempt to play the ball, but didn't obstruct him, although that's the case that Brooks is trying to make. Now the ball goes through and out of play for a goal kick.
It's interestingly simple, isn't it, what Bournemouth do, though? When they have the opportunity to turn this Man City team, they do it at all costs.
Foden, clip ball forward over Senesi's right shoulder. Haaland chasing after it, will pick it up, right-hand side of the box. Bernardo Silva into the feet of Foden in the central area, works it to De Bruyne. De Bruyne onto his right foot, and he sparred it halfway back to Steve Fletcher's stand, and the Cherries are going to have a half-time lead.
Much better though from City, having Haaland running behind, Foden at the heart of it, moving the ball from right to left. Actually had a run around the outside of Kevin De Bruyne and Gvardiol, who opens up the space, and he tries to just shape it into that near post. Unfortunately, like Man City, looks good, but just not that end product at this moment in time.
So Aretha Balaga spots the ball down. And his, I'm sure, will be the last kick of the first 45 minutes. 45 minutes in which he's played a major part, saving a 14th minute penalty from Erling Haaland. 6.5 minutes later, Evan Nielsen bundling the ball over the line. And at half-time, Bournemouth dare to dream. Manchester City's last hopes of silverware might be into the last 45 minutes for this season, because Bournemouth have a half-time advantage. They lead 1-0.
Well, Chelsea's best keeper comes trotting over to the touchline. Kepa Arrizabalaga, what on earth he's not doing at Chelsea, I don't know, but he's been the star as far as Bournemouth are concerned. And there's so much to talk about from that first half. Troy Deeney, you noticed as Manchester City's players were coming in towards the touchline, into the dressing rooms, some conversations going on, as they should be, between the City players.
Yeah, absolutely. And then separately to that, the assistant coach is out here with the ball, said to Nico O'Reilly, get on the ball, get warm. So I'd expect changes to be afoot. I wouldn't be surprised if Kushanov comes off and they move Diaz across and Gvardiol. And I've seen Nico O'Reilly play left back in the FA Cup game against Salford. Very direct, very powerful young man. So maybe they put him on that left back situation. But something has to change for this Man City team, mate. You've been watching like me. Everything's in front of them. Bournemouth love to press and run forward. They don't like going the other way. Not many people do. And Man City haven't at any time really stretched them and asked questions in behind. So Nico O'Reilly I'd expect, and I'd also expect to see the likes of Doku coming in on the back of that as well.
Well, Nico O'Reilly in that game against Salford that you're talking about, he started at left back, but they were pushed forward. They pushed Nunes forward into midfield that day, and they played a 3-2-4-1, the formation that Pep effectively devised and was so instrumental in their success a couple of years ago. I just wonder whether they'll go that same way again, or whether they're going to be bringing O'Reilly on to play on the left of three centre-halves potentially, along with Gvardiol and Diaz, and with Nunes into the centre alongside Kovacic, and then they've got Gundogan playing in the heart of the midfield with De Bruyne, with Foden and Silva wide before they make changes there. That might be the way he's doing. They've got to do something.
Well, we've seen Nico O'Reilly play for the junior side in the UEFA Youth League, and a terrific prospect. He will be a first-team Man City regular, I believe, anyway. Listen, that's to come in the second half. That first half, Erling Haaland, discuss.
You would expect a man of his quality and the goals he's scored over the course of time to at least have two, Aid.
And he should have a hat-trick, shouldn't he, really?
I think the header was a little bit harder than it looked at first glance, especially with the big centre-half Zabarani trying to get across. Probably just loses sight of the ball. Gets a decent enough contact. If he hits a target, he scores, but I think it was a difficult one. The penalty was really poor. he looked nervous taking it. It's not a penalty that's in the corner that the keeper saved. It's trickled to the goal, and Kepa fell on it, held it, and then got him on a counter-attack. That's how weak of a contact he got onto the ball. And then bigger than that, once you think you're having a bit of a bad time, you go through 1v1. Like I said on commentary, you put your house on it, and he lifts it over the goalie, but over the bar as well. It just feels it's a big half for him as well, mentally now. Because I've been there as a striker, you've got other strikers, Dean Ashton, Bentley, they'll all tell you. Don't care how mentally strong you are, once you miss a few, you're praying for your teammates. Someone score. Someone get me out of this rut, and hopefully I'll get a chance further down the line that'll get me back into it. But for him, massive half, and I said it again in the commentary, I think it's a massive 15 minutes for Pep Guardiola as well. We gave him credit at the start for being humble, and I said to you at the time, I don't feel this Man City team has bottomed out yet. This could be the day they bottom out. It really could.
Well, Haaland's missed chances. The other end has been shocking, really. And I've got to say, I thought Núñez should get dragged after that first goal, after the goal for Bournemouth, because he gives it away with a square pass in his own half. There, he doesn't really know where that ball's ending up. That in itself is an offence where he should be substituted. Then fails to defend properly when he gets back in position as the ball is coming across. I mean, it's a double error from Matheus Núñez. And all right, you could say he's not a right back, but he is a professional footballer who costs a lot of money and earns a lot of money, and he basically didn't do his job properly there. He should have been dragged.
I agree with you, and I don't give him that cop-out anymore of he's not a right back, because when you look at it, he's played most of his games for Man City at right back, so we should know that the nuances now of having to stay and follow and that professional guy I love. Even me as an attacker, if I'm defending at corner, I don't just run out the way. I know actually there's still danger here, go and pick somebody up. So I think, yes, I agree with you, he's been poor, Kushadov has been poor, but Bournemouth have been excellent. The manager deserves a lot of credit, just targeting that right side of Man City time after time.
Bournemouth, as it stands, heading to their first FA Cup semi-final. They lead Man City 1-0, live and exclusive, and only here on Talksport with Jim Proudfoot and Troy Deeney. We're also following the WSL leaders Chelsea. It's half-time for them. Rebecca Adams.
Yeah, and at half-time it's Chelsea 2, West Ham 1. Chelsea were in total control from the off, keeping most of the action contained to West Ham's half, and it took them until the 16th minute to open the scoring, but West Ham had actually done well to hold them off for that long. Maika Homana had been looking especially dangerous down the right. She got Chelsea's first, and their second came just 5 minutes later with Aggie Beever-Jones slotting the ball into the bottom right-hand corner. West Ham managed to pull one back with 3 minutes until half-time. Shakira Martinez producing a great finish to get the visitors on the score sheet against the run of play, and at half-time it's Chelsea 2, West Ham 1.
Keep you in touch with that during the second half here on Talksport, and very quickly with the scores from the WSL earlier. Man United beat Everton 2-0, Man City 2-1 winners at Brighton, Arsenal 4-0 winners away to Crystal Palace. Russo on the score sheet again, Beth Mead got 2, Leicester 1, Spurs 1, Liverpool 1, Aston Villa 2, and live earlier on Talksport, Aston Villa eventually cruised into the FA Cup semi-finals by beating Preston 3-0 at Deepdale. Marcus Rashford scored twice, and his manager Unai Emery was very happy with his performance.
Firstly, try to get of him feel comfortable and get confidence, and then play. We are trying to help him definitively to try to recover his performances, but feeling comfortable and playing in the position he's feeling better. Of course, always his left side as a striker, as a winger, and today we tried as well as a striker. Fantastic for him, fantastic how he's helping us, but still work to do, still adaptation to add of him to us. It's another objective we were planning at the beginning when we arrived here with this club, being ambitious, trying as well to increase everything, and of course facing high level like we are doing now in Premier League every day, and in FA Cup now this year, of course, and in Champions League.
Yeah, great season, isn't it, for Aston Villa? Has the potential to be even greater. They will face Palace at Wembley in the FA Cup semi-finals. Here's the losing manager, Preston's Paul Heckingbottom.
Yeah, you can't not be disappointed because of the occasion. I think everyone is, the players, but yeah, proud. And that's what I tried to get across to the players. We couldn't have given any more today. We just couldn't. We couldn't. And I felt until the first goal, we were competitive. We really restricted Villa, which I'm not going to shy away from it. I'm not too proud to admit. That was part of our game plan with what we had available, you know. We had 4 lads on the bench who were lucky to make their debuts, and they have a bench full of internationals. That was what we had today. Yeah. So it would have been tough if we'd have had the full group. So we got most things right, apart from missing the best chance in the first half. For all their possession, we limited them to crosses in the box and shots from distance. And we started the second half in the same fashion, and then 5-minute spell, bang bang, the game was gone.
And Preston's run comes to an end. Depleted side for Paul Heckingbottom today. And so the semi-final lineup is almost complete. Man City are 22 points off the Premier League summit in 5th. They didn't win the Carabao Cup. They're out of the Champions League. Are they about to go out of the FA Cup as well? Bournemouth lead them by a 1-0, and the second half is coming up next, exclusively live right here on Talksport.
The Sunday session on Talksport with Sky Sports. Stream the biggest Premier League games, available with no contract on now. 18 plus, stream via internet, terms apply.
Meet Sarah.
Hi there.
Sarah's pranked her car miles from home, and she's not sure if her insurance covers getting back. Thankfully, Sarah's got car insurance with Aviva. If you've had an accident and your car's not safe to drive, we'll get you safely home. You'll have your feet up in no time, Sarah.
Thank goodness.
Helping you put the pieces together to get you back on track. It takes Aviva. Get a quote today at aviva.co.uk. Onward travel arrangements on comprehensive cover. Geographical restrictions apply.
When life gets a bit... Switch on the new Russell Hobbs Calm Kettle. With gentle, coloured lights and optional soothing sounds. All elegantly designed for a moment of me time. Russell Hobbs Calm Kettle. We get life.
The National Lottery, you could win on repeat. Imagine £10,000 every month for 30 years. You could shred the slopes in Val d'Isere, then chill on a Caribbean beach, then taste your way through Tokyo, then back home to bolt off to. Set for life. Play now on the National Lottery app. Terms, rules and procedures apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Interactive Investor has an ISA to suit you, whether you prefer to manage it yourself or have our experts do it for you. And with awards like the Times Money Mentor's Best Stocks and Shares ISA and a rating of excellent on Trustpilot, we really don't need a fancy orchestral jingle to convince you. Because the choice is obvious. Search Interactive Investor. Investment values can go down as well as up. You could get back less than you invest.
Sport. It's in your DNA. And like SpreadX Sports, you live and breathe every moment. SpreadX Sports brings you a world of betting with flexibility and precision at your fingertips. Sports betting across all devices that's data-driven with real-time analysis. Visit spreadx.com/DNA for our joining offers. SpreadX Sports. It's in our DNA. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
MyMotorworld.com. Hey Josh, I need some oil and parts for my car, but I'm not sure what I need. Any ideas?
Easy. I went to MyMotorworld.com. Just enter your reg number and it'll give you all the correct parts and oil you need.
Really? That sounds simple.
Absolutely. MyMotorworld.com has all the leading brands at great prices. You even get free delivery when you spend over £25.
Amazing. I'll definitely try it out. Thanks for the tip.
MyMotorworld.com.
At Bedford, we love the Grand National.
And they're off.
The roar of the crowd, the thunder of hooves, and the excitement as one nose takes the glory.
He's won by a nose!
But whose nose? Who knows? Pick your nose for the National with Bedford. In shops or online. Love the Grand National. Bedford. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org. Wednesday night.
Premier League live on Talksport 2.
Manchester City versus Leicester.
He fires in a beauty.
Strap yourself in for kick-off from 7:45.
They've taken the lead against the run of play.
Feel the full force of football. Wednesday night
On Talksport 2.
Kick it.
And it is game day exclusive on Talksport. Bournemouth lead Man City by 1-0. Second half to come. Let's take a look at the half-time highlights in partnership with Carling.
Emirates FA Cup half-time highlights on Talksport with Carling. Brilliantly refreshing from the first sip to the last. 18 plus. Always drink responsibly.
If it's been City's worst under Guardiola, it may well end up being the best in Bournemouth history. Right-footed ball whipped inside the box, and Haaland should have scored. It's heading it wide from 7 yards out. Free header, and they've got a penalty for a handball. Manchester City getting the decision from Stuart Atwell. Haaland has spotted the ball down, and he runs up, hits it left-footed. Aretha Balaga saves it, diving to his left. He's able to gather it. Now poor touch from Adams as Haaland is onto it. Aretha Balaga stumbles, and Haaland's put it over the bar.
Stick the lottery on if you're a Bournemouth fan, because he should have a hat-trick by now.
David Brooks just rolls across Brooks. Left foot, he stabbed it in. It's back from Clive and in from Evan Nielsen. Bournemouth lead Manchester City by 1-0.
And that's the way it stands at half-time. That was thanks to Carling.
Emirates FA Cup half-time highlights on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
Well, when we're done here, and it may go to extra time, may even go to penalties. As it stands, it won't. But when we're done on Talksport, final word with Majestic and Alan Pardew, who got to cup finals as a player and as a manager as well. That's to come. Getting all your thoughts on the FA Cup quarter-final weekend, and the only radio station with all 4 quarter-finals. This one, Talksports, of course. Man City's players have been out there for some time. They are making a change. Bournemouth players emerge from the tunnel. It is Bournemouth 1, Manchester City 0. Iraola set to knock out Guardiola. Winner faces Forest at Wembley. Second half, live and exclusive, only on Talksport, with FA Cup finalist Troy Deeney alongside Jim Proudfoot.
And Manchester City have made the change that we were anticipating. Kusanov off, and Nico O'Reilly, who started all 3 of the previous FA Cup ties this season, has come on. He will play at left back, but it does give Manchester City the opportunity to build for potentially with Núñez coming into a more central position, and then O'Reilly playing as one of 3 centre-halves. Vardiol's moved in one, Diaz has moved across to the right of the centre-halves. Troy, was a change they had to make.
Yeah, I think it was the obvious and clear and obvious one to make. Kusanov is struggling, but I think it now gives Núñez that protection of a proper centre-half in Diaz next to him to talk him and guide him through the game. But it's going to be really interesting for Núñez as well, because he could have been hooked in the first half, as Adrian said, rightly so. But I think it's a big half for him. It's a huge half for Haaland, to see what his mentality is like. And let's see what this Man City team can do now, because if you're Bournemouth, you've got to get through these first 15 minutes.
O'Reilly involved straight away with a ball that goes through the 6-yard box and bounces in it, and ends up going out of play for a goal kick. This is how the 2 sides line up. Aretha Balaga in goal for Bournemouth. Cook, Zabani, Senesi and Soler. Christian Adams, Brooks, Kluivert, Semenyo and Evan Nielsen. City, Ederson in goal. Núñez, Diaz, Vardiol and O'Reilly. Kovacic and Gundogan. Silva, De Bruyne, Foden and Haaland. Here's Zabani out to the Bournemouth right-hand side for Lewis Cook. And O'Reilly's very quickly on the toes of David Brooks and wins a throw that City will take over on that far side. In fact, no, last touch off O'Reilly. It is a Bournemouth throw. Taken into the feet of Christie. And Zabani works it back for Aretha Balaga, who saved that early penalty from Haaland. Pep acting as the ball boy as it goes out of play. Shuffles across very quickly, picks the ball up so that Silva can take a throw. Núñez has nicked a few yards. He spins the white ball in his hands before just throwing it forward here towards Foden. Back for Núñez again. A turn forward by Gundogan, who's then under immediate pressure from Kluivert. Goes back for Diaz, and Diaz in turn back for his goalkeeper. And Ederson plays it out, and Kovacic has it. Forward from him to Diaz. Kovacic. Manchester City trying to get themselves back into this game. They have trailed in the last 2 FA Cup ties that they played, but have won them both. Silva Finding Foden towards the edge of the area, and Arifa Balaga dives to his right to save. But it was a great touch from Silva at the start of that, appreciated by Troy. It's a little flick back round the corner for Foden's run, and he carried on going, shot from the edge of the area, but Arifa Balaga able to make a relatively comfortable stop.
Yeah, it's excellent play, and sorry for talking over you there, mate. I get a little bit excited when I'm watching this football. It's like I'm getting paid to do it. But it's wonderful skill from Bernardo Silva. A little cute flick. It just entices Bournemouth to think they can get close, and it allows Phil Foden to run at the back line. And I'm just watching Pep. He's just about what I'm about to say is what he's saying to Phil Foden. Haaland makes a beautiful run just off the side. All he has to do is slip Haaland in. But I think this happens with players even at this level, that they think, do you know what, you've missed a few, it's my turn to go and score.
Now Nico O'Reilly making his way forward. Haaland! 1-1. Sliding into the far post. He's been able to get the touch. It's really close to being offside. He might just have timed it correctly. Great ball in from Nico O'Reilly. And Haaland running onto it at the far post. Stole a march on his marker. He missed the penalty and two other great chances in the first half, but he scored early in the second. And it's one apiece.
Excellent play from Nico O'Reilly. I thought it was offside. It's a great ball. It's a great goal. This all comes from a lovely two touches from Kevin De Bruyne. Takes it on the chest, slips Nico O'Reilly down that left-hand side. And the pace and the power in which this young man goes. Wonderful pace to get down that left-hand side. And what a ball. Says to every striker, come on, son, come and get your goal bonus. Haaland loves that type of finish. Haaland back in the game. Mentality, what are you talking about, Troy?
30th goal of the season for Erling Haaland. Got himself into the right position to take the easiest chance of the lot, but it's all about the quality of delivery and the quality of his run to get there. And he will feel that draws a line under the opening 45 minutes. There to be one for Manchester City and Bournemouth now. 1-1 early in the second half here on Talksport.
It is excellent. And again, we've only been going, 4 minutes into the second half? Nico O'Reilly already got him behind twice down that Bournemouth right side. Shows a level of power, pace. He might be the future for this Man City team down that left-hand side. Really, really good. Sorry, that Coke I drank at half-time's repeated itself.
O'Reilly's O'Reilly's assist, I beg your pardon. It's only his 10th Manchester City appearance today. Silva sending a high ball forward that clears Haaland. Zabani heads it back to his goalkeeper.
But you can already see, though, and feel it, can't you, in the stadium, Jim? Whenever that Nico O'Reilly gets the ball, the Man City fans expect. The players have this thing where they go, oh, he's going forward. I know he's a midfielder by trade, but at that left-back position, he's saying to Nunes on the opposite side, here's how you do it. Don't worry about paying 50 million for me. I can play in many positions and I'll deliver.
Ball over the top of Cook. Brooks has come back and covered, but O'Reilly, who's made such an early impression, very nearly got past her. Has gone out of play this time for a Bournemouth throw. O'Reilly's efforts already being recognised by those travelling Manchester City supporters. 3 goals in the FA Cup this season. He got a couple against Argyle in the last round and one against Salford in round 3. A player that started the season playing in the UEFA Youth League for Manchester City's under-19s, where he really caught the eyes. No surprise, having seen him play at that level, that he's been able to take the step up to this. Bournemouth able to bring the ball away. Christie laying it down towards Soler. Left-footed ball forward from him is stabbed away by Kovacic. Finding Bernardo Silva. Foden to his right. And the Manchester City number 47 brings it forward, keeping possession under duress as Soler and Semenyo both try to deal with him. Nunes, Silva, ball in's taken a deflection. It's stabbed away by Christie and put out for a throw that'll be taken on the Manchester City right. 1-1 here, 7 minutes into the second half on Talksport and on Sirius XM FC across the United States and Canada. Foden flicking it on. Haaland trying to get it back to him, and then he's just tugged Soler to the ground, or at least that was the view of the ref, and it's a free kick that'll be taken by Bournemouth inside their own penalty area.
Yeah, Soler's just bought one there, goes down, knows Haaland's got a little touch on his left hand shoulder, just dropped down. I do want to get your opinion though, Jim, just the tweak, taking off Kushner, moving Guardiola inside, adding Nico O'Reilly at left wing back, because of how high he is. It's completely changed the dynamic of this Man City team. Just having that base to build off, keeping the ball, and then that outlet with pure pace and power with Nico O'Reilly. It's been night and day from first half to second half.
Absolutely. Pep seeing what was wrong, being able to fix it, or at least looking as though he's going to be able to fix it. He's gotten his side courtesy of that change back on level terms already. Evan Nielsen playing it back to Adams. And Bournemouth trying to launch their first attack of this second half. Semenyo. Play back towards Tyler Adams again. That goal for Haaland. He's 9th in 9 FA Cup ties in his career. 120 goals in 138 games in all competitions now for Manchester City. The 295th goal of his career for club and country. De Bruyne playing it out towards O'Reilly. Had his back to the direction of play, just chested it down and neatly worked it out towards O'Reilly again. Ilkay Gundogan can bring it forward, just to play it into the feet of De Bruyne. Back for Gundogan again. O'Reilly makes a slightly hesitant run down the left-hand side, making sure that he doesn't go too early here. Núñez in front of us, more gallivanting attempt to get 15-20 yards upfield. The ball played into the feet of him by Silva. Now down towards Kovacic. Kovacic for Diaz. Diaz able to come forward. Every Bournemouth player apart from Evan Nielsen back behind the ball. Gundogan. Diaz. Right-footed ball clipped in. Haaland pushed to the ground. Referee says no foul by Zabani. It was just genuine wrestling between the pair of them in a bid to get to the ball first. Ball goes out towards O'Reilly. Down by the left-hand corner flag. He's pulled it back. Vardiol's got it. He can come forward within 20 yards of the edge of the penalty area. Down for Ilkay Gundogan. Gundogan for Diaz. Down for Núñez. Semenyo trying to stop the ball, getting towards Silva, who's pushed away by Soler. Bournemouth have hardly had a kick in this second half, and the tactical change, or the personnel change from Manchester City's made a major difference. De Bruyne getting away from the referee there, who he collided with and now remonstrates with. Bournemouth have won it back. Fire it forward towards Evan Nielsen. Vardiol is there, and he's played it off Evan Nielsen, who then stands his ground and pushes Vardiol to the ground, but it will be a Manchester City throw that'll be taken over on the far touchline. Troy, one of the things you were talking about most in the first 45 minutes was the inability of City to get in behind the Bournemouth back line, and now with O'Reilly it's keeping everybody honest, because they have that threat in behind that they didn't have before. Absolutely, and what he's also been able to do is had all that balance of two lefties on that side now. Yeah, you've got two natural left footers down that left-hand side with Guardiola at the centre-half and Nico O'Reilly there. So now there's a balance that they don't have to keep coming out on this right-hand side. You've seen the platform for them to build on. The one thing that's really important as well, Jim, is that in the first half it felt like Man City were playing in their own half and that to be perfect. The whole of this second half has been played in Bournemouth's half. They're higher up the pitch, they're controlling it, and now Bournemouth can't get out as quickly as they wanted to. So excellent from Pep, excellent from Man City so far. Well, the ironic cheers that you can hear from the Bournemouth fans are aimed at Erling Haaland, who might just have hurt himself very slightly. And in fact, he goes down now as Bournemouth prepare to make a double change. So Soler's coming off, and James Hill will come on to replace him. And we're also going to see Brooks replaced by Dongo Ouattara, the Burkina Faso international, who's scored 6 goals in his last 12 games, including the hat-trick against Nottingham Forest. So he comes on for Brooks. And Hill, who's the Swiss Army knife, really, of this Bournemouth back line, because he can play anywhere and do anything. And he's going to drop in at left back here. He's probably a centre-half by trade. Most of his Bournemouth football's come at right back. He's played at centre-half recently in Zabani's absence because of suspension. Now he's coming on at left back to replace Soler. But just having a look at the the challenge by Cook on Haaland, which has caused a problem, and he's just lent into him. He's fallen down. It's not a foul. He's fallen down though, and as he's tumbled over and rolled onto his right-hand side, he's pushed Haaland forward, made contact with him, and Haaland's ended up just going into the hoardings.
Yeah, he's just landed on Haaland's Achilles, and then, because Haaland's trying to push forward, all that weight's in the front of your ankle joint, and all that weight's gone onto the back. So probably one they're going to have to just move it around a little bit, try and not get that stiff. Normally, as a player, you have to get up and move around a lot more, because it's kind of like the old school one with your ankle. If you take the boot off and if you let it stiffen up, you're going to be in trouble. So it's a painful one for Haaland, but one they're going to feel that if they get him moving around and about, he should be okay.
Well, it's Bournemouth 1, Manchester City 1 here on Talksport. And after the game, Majestic and Alan Pardew will give you a chance to have your say on the final word. We're going to bring you all the reaction from the tunnel as well, so stick around to that to hear from Pep Guardiola and Andoni Iraola. 08717 223344 the number. Winners of this taking on Nottingham Forest. Palace against Villa, the other FA Cup semi-final. We'll have both of those for you. The only station to have them both, and that's the weekend, April 26 and 27. So 4 weeks' time. Both of those games live from Wembley here on Talksport and on Sirius XM FC in North America. Cook handed the ball forward. Haaland is just waiting for permission to come back on. He received quite lengthy treatment, probably a good 2.5 minutes or so.
It was a foul throw there that they blew up for. From Nico O'Reilly, got his first one. Looks like Haaland's moving well though, Jim. I think he'll be back in a minute. But you have to say to him now, just don't stand still, keep moving it, get running, and over the next 3 or 4 minutes that'll ease off.
Senesi chipping a ball forward that evades Cliver and goes all the way through towards Edison. And for all the fact that Bournemouth had some great moments in the first half, in the second half they haven't even had a sight of goal. They haven't been able to get Clivert or Evan-Nielsen into the game at all. So what does Iraola have to do to change things?
He's got Haaland's not moving well at all. Haaland's got signalling to come off. Probably been Marmoush that comes in now, natural runner in behind. What Bournemouth need to do and have to do is get going, get this crowd up and agitated. But Pep's very frustrated down here with the referee as well. But yeah, I think Marmoush will come on. It's probably worse for Bournemouth that Marmoush comes on, if I'm being totally honest with you. The fact that he can run, he's willing to run in behind, he can come and link the play as well. But Man City players not happy that they didn't put the ball out for Haaland at this point.
Well, it's not up to Bournemouth to put the ball out of play. It's up to the referee to stop it. He's gone back down again, Haaland, showing that he can't continue. And it's not a head injury. Everyone knows what the problem is. So the referee's entitled to allow play to continue, and Bournemouth are playing to the whistle.
Yeah, and absolutely now Bournemouth should be using this as a catalyst. The world's best poacher has just come off with what looks like an injury. Straight down the tunnel to get that sorted. But it feels like this is what Bournemouth kind of needed, that break in play to mess it up. Because since the turn of this second half, it's been all Man City. And you asked me earlier, Jim, what do Bournemouth need to do? They need to get the ball running in behind again. They need to start putting a bit more pressure in the middle of the park, because City are comfortable now. And as we've seen over years, if you let this City team build into a game, play loads of little passes, it's going to be a long, long afternoon for you.
Pep Guardiola got a yellow card for dissent. He was arguing with referee Stuart Atwell about the whole Haaland situation as well. The change has been made. Haaland down the tunnel to receive treatment. Omar Mamouche, who scored that hat-trick against Newcastle and scored against Brighton in the last game to take his City total to 4. He's on. And it's 1-1 with 29 minutes of normal time remaining. Manchester City well on top at the moment, but the talismanic number 9 has gone off the field in what's been an extraordinarily eventful day for him. Missed 2 big chances and a penalty, scored, and has now gone off injured. Adams back through the midfield. Zabani's a loose one that has actually been rescued by Cook. And he had to scamper back down the touchline to be able to chest that down. It's a better ball from Zabani to find his captain this time. Over the top from Christie. Easily headed away by Gvardiol. Brought down in the midfield by Kovacic, who's just wrestled back there by Christie. That's a yellow card. And Christie's no stranger to them. picks up his 10th of the season.
Yeah, it's a cheap one. He knew that he tried to go and press Kovacic, and Kovacic just rolled him out on the left-hand side. It was away. It would have been the worst thing that could happen for Bournemouth, because it had 5 runners for Man City going at that back line. So it's a foul that all his teammates will be really happy with.
Diaz, Nunes, Silva, Foden trying to chest the ball downhill, has got it away. Looks as though there was a case for a handball there, but nothing given. Gundogan trying to slot a straight ball through. Semenyo is back defending. O'Reilly's won it though, getting it through and through. Arifa Balaga and in. Mamouche. 2-1 to Manchester City. Moments after he's come on. Big protest from Bournemouth because they feel there was a handball in the build-up. But he came some time before Mamouche put the ball in the net. VAR will be having a look at it, but Mamouche's goal stands for now, and Manchester City have turned it around. Mamouche with an instant impact.
Yeah, again, we're going to look at this moment of potential handball, but Nico O'Reilly again goes for that running by. Semenyo gets there, falls over. Nico O'Reilly, not feeling sorry for himself, gets onto it. Lovely little outside of the foot pass. Mamouche gets his shot off, and as much as Aid said Chelsea's best goalkeeper, you can see why he's been loaned out, and you can see why Chelsea have got 8 goalkeepers. He can save that with his foot. Dives over the ball. Mamouche won't care. Man City won't care. If this goal stands, Man City are having a wonderful day. But Kepa, oh my good God, what are you doing, young man?
2-1 Manchester City. And Kepa Arrizabalaga, who's given away penalties in 2 of the last 3 league games, committing another error there. He'll be really disappointed that he couldn't deal with that shot. And he's just walking across the edge of his penalty area, just chatting no one in particular, involuntarily just throwing his hands out and really cross with himself. You can see in his body language how frustrated he is that one got through him. So 2-1 Manchester City. A goal from Haaland and the man who's come on to replace him, Omar Mamouche, in the opening 20 minutes of this second half. Here's Kevin De Bruyne. One back by Christie. Turning it forward for Semenyo. Kovacic has poked it away from him. Vardiol then gets it forward for Ilkay Gundogan to De Bruyne, and back for Gundogan again. Just turning on the edge of the centre circle to play in Kovacic. Nunes in space on the right. Foden with a ball that has almost found its way through to Evan Nielsen, but City have been able to rescue it. And Ederson's got it on the edge of the penalty area. When you consider the chances that they've missed, they will feel that they certainly are worthy leaders here. Wonderful 90-yard ball forward here. Chipped inside the penalty area and cleared off the line with Arrizabalaga struggling. City win it back again. Silva, De Bruyne, right-footed effort from him. And deflects off Hill and goes out of play for a corner. What a pass from Ederson. Pinged from one end of the field right down to the other. A square ball inside the box, just chipped in. Arrizabalaga beaten, but Mamouche's header cleared off the line by Senesi.
It's great defending off the line. This last 5 or 10 minutes has really taken it away from Bournemouth. What a ball from Ederson. It's half a clip with a back foot. He's just put it straight over the top. Again, no, Man City finally having some runners in behind and causing problems. This is what Pep Guardiola would have absolutely been talking to him about at half-time.
Phil Foden taking the corner. It's a deep left-footed one towards the back post, headed down, and Lewis Cook blasts it clear. Bournemouth will chase after it. It's Clive that leads the charge. Easy for Nunes to mop up and get it back for his goalkeeper. Ederson's long ball forward, brought down by James Hill. Hill inside the centre circle. Play back for Zabani. And on this glorious sunny day, City's blue moon is on the rise again, as you can hear. Long left-footed ball from Senesi. 2-1 to Manchester City, who trail for nearly half an hour. O'Reilly's done well again. He sees Mamouche making a run ahead of him. It's gone square instead towards De Bruyne. O'Reilly's performance is really being enjoyed by those travelling City supporters, as well it might be, he has been superb since coming on.
And you know what, Jim, I'm going to go early on this, but if they win this game, he should get man of the match, because since he's come on at half-time, it's completely changed the whole concept of how this game was going. All the momentum was with Bournemouth, and he's just given at least a life to this Man City team that's everyone's running in behind before. They wasn't doing that before he came on. Excellent performance for the young man. Excellent.
Ouattara with a long clearance for Bournemouth. City are going to be bringing Grealish on in a moment. It's Gundogan to Nunes. Silva, Gundogan, Nunes again. Just passing around Bournemouth with ease. A real different complexion to this game now. Foden trying to hit the ball forward on the half turn, straight at Kleiber, and came back very quickly, won it back. Adams is in there strongly, and now Christie. De Bruyne making life difficult for him, but the Scotsman could turn it back for Senesi. He finds his goalkeeper, and Arifa Balaga clears and puts it out of play for a throw.
And that's the difference now, Jim. Look how comfortable Man City are, going and pressing, moving the ball better, and even that they're set by what's considered the old man in Kevin De Bruyne, running, ratting, getting after people, doing the ugly side of the game. Excellent second half for Man City so far.
So the City change sees Grealish come on for Foden, and he'll get the final quarter of the regulation 90. Jack Grealish coming on, a player who's played in a couple of FA Cup finals in his career, one successfully, one less so with Aston Villa. Throw taken by Nunes. 1-1 the score, 2-1, I beg your pardon, to Manchester City here on Talksport. There's Marmoush, who's the man who's given Manchester City the lead, concedes a free kick, which Tyler Adams looks to take, knocks it forward for the white-booted Christie. Down from him to Hill. Hill back for Senesi. Senesi back inside his own penalty area for Kepa Arrizabalaga. Senesi able to bring it out from the back. There's no pressure on him. Although when he plays it towards Zabani, that's the trigger for the press. Led by Grealish, in towards Christie. Kovacic coming in very briskly on him. Christie, knowing he was coming, laid it off first time. Zabani's ball forward is easily gobbled up by Vardiol. Cook then heads a loose one through the midfield that's returned by O'Reilly in towards the feet of Marmoush. Evan Nielsen winning it back. Adams, as soon as he played the ball forward, hung his head in disappointment. He knew it wasn't of the requisite quality, and then Grealish coming forward is caught by Cook, and that's a yellow card.
He's so good at that, Jack. Just goes past Cook, and as he goes past Cook, he just slows down enough that Lewis Cook has to take his back legs. There's nothing more that Lewis Cook can do. It's wonderful play from Jack Grealish there. Just wondering, as this game develops, would this be a massive moment in Jack Grealish's Man City career if he come on, scored, got them over the line comfortably? Because we spoke about it before in the build-up, Jim. Phil Foden not having the best of seasons, not having the best of games today either. Is this a moment where he can see out the last 10 games, possibly in Pep's mind, if he comes on and delivers?
I'm not so sure.
You're not sure?
No, I don't know. He's the free kick. He's played in towards the edge of the penalty area here, and Christie can take a touch and bring it away for Bournemouth. I don't know whether the ship's already sailed as far as Jack is concerned. I'm not sure. The ball back from Adams to Christie, and then cleared by Senesi, picked up though by Gundogan, who can drive towards the edge of the penalty area here, and then takes a tumble. Referee just thought about giving a free kick for a foul by Semenyo, and then didn't. No real complaints from Gundogan, at least initially. Bournemouth get it forward upfield and have a throw that they've taken quickly over on the far touchline, the right. Kleiber back in towards Adams. We're 19 minutes from time. And it's Bournemouth 1, Manchester City 2 here on Talksport, with Hill in possession for the Cherries. Right-footed, clipped over the top. Evan Nielsen's made a good run. Back to the direction of play inside the penalty area. Couldn't hold it up long enough. Nunes gets it away, and then City will whack it further clear with Silva. A slight miscue from Cook. And the loose ball goes out to the City left-hand side for Grealish. He'll just watch it over the line and out for a Manchester City throw.
Even that ball in there to Evan Nielsen, it's a great ball from Hill just over the top. What that was doing in the first half was allowing Evan Nielsen to run onto the goal, but now with that natural Guardiola lefty coming around on the cover with two natural defenders in there, he has to come away from goal, and Man City are winning the ball back again. It just feels it's a small tactical tweak, but it's been monumental to the way this game has gone. And you just feel that if City can see this next 3 or 4 minutes out with the ball, that Bournemouth will have to get a little bit more desperate, and that should play to the hands then, and potentially a Doku coming on and with his pace hit Bournemouth on the counter-attack and just kill this game dead and buried, because we've seen with City 2-1 will not be a game that they will feel comfortable with. They will make mistakes.
Well, 2 on the state of play at the moment. And Manchester City have only won 8 out of 22 games in all competitions on the road this season. They've lost half of the 22. And Bournemouth, from their point of view, have lost almost as many as they've won here. They're going to make another change. Evan Nielsen is coming off. Alex Scott will come on to replace him. And you would imagine that will see Ouattara go through the middle up top. And they're also going to be bringing Adam Smith on. Just looking to see who he will be coming on for. He'll replace Christie. Christie's carrying this chronic groin problem at the moment that is causing him a lot of discomfort and tends to get about 70-75 minutes in most games. So they'll make the change. Smith is coming on, and he'll play in his favoured right-back role. So Lewis Cook moves into his favoured role in the heart of midfield alongside Adams as well. And it is Ouattara now playing up front for Bournemouth. And that's the state of play for the final 17 minutes of normal time, with Bournemouth chasing the equaliser that could take it to extras. 2-1 to Manchester City. Good value for it over the 75 minutes or so as a whole, but particularly second half. They've been completely dominant.
Yeah, been a much better second half performance. This is more the City of old, isn't it? This type of performance. I'm just seeing as well, Kluivert has moved out to the left to allow Scott to move into the middle and go and do what he does in that number 10 role. Hasn't really kicked off for Alex Scott this year through injuries and other players' performances, but highly talented football player, and one that Bournemouth will feel that if they can get the best out of him, they've got another talent on their hands.
Adam Smith with the clearance. He's only 6 games short of 400 now for Bournemouth. The ball miscontrolled by Ouattara. Goes out of play for a Manchester City throw. O'Reilly's last one was a foul throw. He won't be making that mistake twice. 2-1 City lead. Your reaction to everything that's happened today in the FA Cup comes with Majestic and Alan Pardew after this game. And we'll have the reaction from the men that matter here as well, from the tunnel into Spurs with yours. That's on 08717223344. You can book your calls now. And more reaction tomorrow morning as well. Jeff and Ali back on Talksport Breakfast tomorrow, the host of star names to get your working week off to the perfect start. Here's Kevin De Bruyne finding Silva. Silva trying to find Nunes, played the ball behind him, and then Kluivert was in there very strongly on him just slightly after the ball had gone. But no foul. And it's going to be a free kick which will be taken, throw which will be taken by Hill on this near touchline for Bournemouth. 15 to go. Bournemouth 1, Manchester City 2. As City look for a 7th successive FA Cup semi-final. Nobody's previously done 6 before in the competition's history, but to reach the last 4 for a 7th successive season would just be an extraordinary achievement.
Yeah, excellent. Again, if we put this into context, for Man City's worst season, it looks like Champions League football and going as deep as the final, potentially winning the FA Cup. That just shows the level that they've set over this last 5, 6, 7 years. I do find it interesting just watching Pep Guardiola saying to Marmoush and to Jack Grealish, look after the ball where you can, try and do the dark arts really well, try and take as much time over everything, because he does feel that they haven't been great in their winning positions, which doesn't feel like it's something you normally associate with a Pep Guardiola team. When they're ahead, they go on and win very, very comfortably, but this season 2-1 has become a precarious situation for them.
Now, it could at the moment be another game, their 6th of the season, in which they've conceded first and gone on to win. It's a happy habit. Well, you get what I mean. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be conceding the first goal in the first place, but if you can show that resilience and you've got experience of being able to turn games around, it can only be useful for you. Kluivert gets a yellow card here for a foul on Nunes, and that means that if Bournemouth can turn this around and make it through to the semis, he'll be missing through suspension for the trip to Wembley.
It's amazing, isn't it, that players get a yellow card for that from Kluivert because it's 76 minutes in. Ilkay Gundogan made 5 in the first 10 minutes and not 1 yellow card all day. So Good standard of refereeing again, as always.
De Bruyne getting on the end of a beautiful flick from Nunes and winning a corner as he fires it into Senesi. And out of play for a corner which will be taken on this near touchline. I think this has been a performance that's been in keeping with Bournemouth's recent displays as well. So many positives. Can't get themselves into an unassailable position and then can't hold on. We've seen that a few times. And this would be a fourth successive home defeat if they can't find an equaliser in the 13 minutes plus stoppage time that remains here. Probably about 18 minutes worth of playing time left. De Bruyne taking this corner, pretty flat one, headed by Zabani, back through his own penalty area, back in again from De Bruyne. Marmoush at the far post with a looping header. May or may not have been going in. Senesi not taking any chances, headed it away. And then De Bruyne mops up and goes back for Nunes. Now to Kovacic. Nunes again, dropping his shoulder, trying to get away from Scott. Flicked beautifully by Bernardo Silva. Down to Marmoush once more. Marmoush for Nunes. Nunes back for Ruben Diaz. Kovacic deeper than he. And Vardiol the deepest of the lot of City's outfield players. Ball work back, long diagonal from him. Nunes up against Hill but loses out. And Marmoush forward towards Nunes. He's in this time, but a drag ball back through the 6-yard box was easily blocked. And then as he retreats, he's fouled his man. And it's a free kick given away for the challenge on Dongo Ouattara. 78 gone. Bournemouth 1, Manchester City 2.
He started to come back, though, that confidence of the 1 and 2 intricate passes from Man City. Probably heard me purring in the background of Jim there doing some wonderful commentary and me just making cat noises because of how good it is. It's really, really good to see, though, Man City getting that confidence back. And the 1 and 2 touch stuff is, for years now, has been something that we've always associated with Pep Guardiola teams.
Ball trying to work the ball inside the City penalty area where it's hardly paid a visit over the last half hour or so. Scott's got it on the edge of the box, setting up Lewis Cook. Back for Kluivert. Kluivert near the corner of the penalty area. Chance for James Hill to deliver, and his low cross comes back off Silva. And gives Bournemouth some form of encouragement. They're going to be bringing on the Canadian Daniel Jebison very shortly. Jebison, who's declared for Canada now. He's qualified for both Canada and England, but has declared for the Canadians, and he's going to be coming on shortly. Hill wants to take this throw. He's just been told by Stuart Atwell to take it from much nearer the corner flag. It's a decent long throw in towards the near post. First contact from a City player. Cook trying to keep it alive on the edge of the penalty area. City clear. Out towards Zabani. Zabani's lost his balance and lost possession. It's 2 against 1. City play it forward. Out towards Marmoush. Running at Zabani. Reverse ball from him for Ilkay Gundogan. De Bruyne in the middle. And he didn't read the flick from Marmoush. Maybe thought he was offside. But the move just petered out as it looked as though City might be able to put the game to bed.
Probably should have put the game to bed, to be fair. That would give Bournemouth and this fan base a whole lease of life. Marmoush tried to roll it. It wasn't a flick. He tried to roll it on the turn. Probably should just hit it first time and kill this game off. Pep Guardiola down below, scratching at his face again, getting very agitated with this Man City team. It's a wonderful opportunity to go and put the game to bed. That maybe Bournemouth now can get that little bit of grace and feel that they can have another opportunity, because Man City wasted a massive opportunity there.
City will bring it forward once more. Now towards Jack Grealish. Gundogan bundled over off the ball. City have still got it, so referee Stuart Atwell allows play to continue. Grealish coming towards the edge of the penalty area, faced up by Adam Smith, laying it back for Ilkay Gundogan. Back out to Grealish again. Kovacic, nice reverse ball from him. Grealish right in front of those City supporters on the far side, feigning to shoot, cuts back inside, sets up Gundogan, who hits the post. Comes back off the frame of the goal to Silva. Another effort from Gundogan. And that's it. Adams and bobbles away, goes out of play for a corner. They're inches away from having won it.
We just saw Jack Grealish at his absolute best, cutting in off that left-hand side. Made Adam Smith, the veteran, go left, right, to the point where he had his back to Jack Grealish at one point. sets Ilkay Gundogan. Lovely left-footed shot, just gets the bottom of the goal at the goal post on that right-hand side. Probably could have been game, set, match, and Pep's just making a few changes now just to get this job done.
Well, the first change is going to see James McAtee come on for Ilkay Gundogan. McAtee has got an FA Cup hat-trick to his name this season, a 19-minute hat-trick at that against Salford. So he will replace Gundogan. And we're also going to see Nico Gonzalez come on. And that will be the final change for Manchester City. He replaces Kovacic. Bournemouth keeping Jebison waiting just for a moment. They don't want to make their change whilst they're about to defend a corner. But Jebison's introduction is imminent. 2-1 to Manchester City with 7 minutes to go. You listen to Bournemouth Manchester City in the FA Cup Game Day Live on Talksport with Carling, the official beer partner of the Emirates FA Cup. 18 plus. Please drink responsibly. O'Reilly waiting on the edge of the 6-yard box. 4 more in light blue behind him. In it comes deep. Smith going up, wins it in the air. Left-footed volley from McAtee. Couldn't find Mamouche. It was off target as a shot, and Zabani clears towards halfway. Ball is brought down inside his own half by Nunes. A long ball over the top from him. And Kepa gives Senesi a shout and is able to pick it up. And then he bowls it out towards Adams, who was oblivious to the fact that Kevin De Bruyne was right behind him and easily won it back. Jack Grealish coming to the edge of the penalty area. Stops, checks. Plays it back for De Bruyne again. Here's Nico Gonzalez. Nico works it back inside the centre circle for Ruben Dias. Manchester City not winning this at a canter by any stretch of the imagination, but they have more than a big element of control and comfort. 2-1 does not feel like a fragile lead for them with 6 minutes to go as Jebison, a striker, comes on for centre-half Senesi.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about, that level of desperation that's coming. It looks like Lewis Cook's gone centre-back here, having some notes, been told what to do, pass this on to everybody.
Don't concede another and find an equaliser.
Yeah, it's written on big A4 paper, is written that as well, just to make sure we can read it properly. But yeah, just passing on some information. But this should now play into Man City's hands with what Pep Guardiola would want. Bournemouth will get desperate, trying to get corners and free kicks.
But here is Jebison sending one inside the penalty area that Semenyo couldn't bring down. Comes back out for Adam Smith. His ball in is effectively blocked by O'Reilly. Smith wins it back and plays it back for Cliver. Cliver back out for Adam Smith again. Right-footed ball in. Oh, Ouattara and Jebison both going for the same ball. Don't know whether either of them, had they had a clear run at that, would have been able to get a decent effort in on goal. The ball evaded the pair of them and then wasn't kept in by Cook. Andoni Iraola stands with hands above his head. He's applauding. Likes what he's seen. A bit more attacking intent from his side there. Who are now playing with Cook alongside Zabani at centre-half. Smith at right-back. Hill at left-back. Adams anchoring the midfield with Scott ahead of him. Semenyo on the right. Cliver on the left. And Jebison pretty much up top alongside Ouattara. A yellow card has been shown. Is it to Nunes for taking his time about the restart?
Yeah, but also in that, Jim, as that balls get put in for the right-hand side, Nunes again not watching his man, not seeing what's happening. I'm really worried as this game develops for Man City from a defensive point of view. It's an area they're going to have to fix, not only for this game, but for moving forward, because it goes to sleep at the back post every single time.
Kepa Arrizabalaga sending a long ball forward. Brought down towards the edge of the penalty area by Alex Scott. Scott for Jebison. Can't make anything happen. It's dug clear by Bernardo Silva. Jebison has got a long time without a league goal, but he has got a couple in the FA Cup this season. He scored against West Brom and Everton. Those are the only goals that he scored in Bournemouth colours so far. He had a loan spell away from the club at Troy's old club Watford at the beginning of the campaign. Can he make himself a hero here? 2-1 City. 3 minutes plus stoppage time to go. and maybe 8 minutes of playing time left. Arifa Balaga to take a goal kick. 2 balls on the pitch. Just for a moment, the original one that was sent for by the Manchester City back line just ended up back off the hoardings and on the pitch down by the corner flag. It's been retrieved. And Arifa Balaga restarts play with the goal kick. Smith controlling it, playing it back for Zabani. A high right-footed ball forward to Semenyo over on the right-hand side, faced up by Nico O'Reilly, who's done really well to win it back. It looks like he might have given it away for a moment, but he hasn't quite. Vardiol launches it long. Mamouche chasing after it. Kepa comes out or heads it away, but De Bruyne is there first to it ahead of Cook. And will take it on down the right-hand side of the penalty area towards the corner flag and checks back out. Finds Bernardo Silva. Excellent play by Kevin De Bruyne. Played it forward. A little 1-2 with Lewis Cook, which neither man intended. Now McAtee can turn in the heart of the midfield. And just side foots it out towards Jack Grealish, who's protecting his eyes from the sun as he receives the ball. Grealish has got it now, bottom left-hand corner of the penalty area. Another goal for Manchester City now, and the job is done. Forest are waiting in the semi-finals. 2 minutes of normal time to go. McAtee just shoulder barged out of the way by Zabani. The ball has gone out, and it's a goal kick which will be taken by Kepa Arifa Balaga.
One thing I've noticed as well, Jim, with Nico Gonzalez back there, that's a good, healthy 6 foot plus back 5 that they've got now. So all these long balls that Bournemouth keep doing, they could just let Nico Gonzalez go to back 4, let him go and try and win the headers. The rest take all the space and take the runners, and then they know the outlet ball now. You do have Marmouche with that willing runner, and if you're under any pressure, give it to Kevin, give it to Jack, let them look after the ball for a few minutes. So this should play out to be a relatively simple last 3 or 4 minutes for Man City, but this is also football, isn't it?
Long ball over the top. McAtee chasing after it is onside. He's there ahead of Adams. Just more than happy to maintain possession. Lends the ball back for Grealish, who shows for the return, and Grealish again just invites the challenge from Adams. He slows everything down, and then Adams with an angry reaction lent over Jack Grealish, and the City players reacted to the Americans' intervention. He's claiming that he played the ball there, Adams, but it is going to be a free kick, and Grealish is still down holding his knee.
Yeah, I think he's actually just stood on Jack's foot there, so Jack won't stay down for too much longer. He's a smart enough cookie. He's been around the block enough. He just invites that tackle right at the last minute. They think they can get the ball. He just moves it away, gets the foul, wastes another 30 seconds, and just in time he's up to take the free kick in front of that Man City team. But again, these are little nuanced parts of the game that the Jack does really well. He drives up the pitch, he encourages fouls, but a nice 7 minutes for him to do that left now.
So 7 minutes of stoppage time.
Pepper is already on a yellow card, by the way, just clapping the 4th official. Probably not the smartest thing to do there for Mr. Guardiola. Didn't want 7 minutes, Jim.
Didn't want to see the 7. Well, I suppose 3 of it for Haaland. There've been a lot of changes.
Yeah, fair.
For that one there for the Jaguars down a minute or so, but I was expecting 5, maybe 6. It is 7. We're in it now. And Kepa Arifa Balaga, away to our right-hand side, will take another goal kick. Bournemouth's need increasingly urgent. Is it going to be a 6th major cup quarter-final defeat in their history? Is the hoodoo in cups at this stage going to continue? It's looking that way at the moment, and it could get worse for him. Marmouche is in after a Bournemouth mistake, and the recovering Adams did brilliantly. Just got his heel to the ball. Pep was furious that Marmouche couldn't take that on and win it, and now there's a really angry reaction from Pep looking across to Marmouche. He's clenching his fist, and he's telling him that in that kind of situation you've just got to attack it with more urgency.
He wants him to be a killer in that moment. Go and kill the game off. Yes, we've spoken about Haaland being off and missing chances, but he finishes the action. He gets you up that end of the pitch and probably gets you, I don't know, a goal, or if not, at least a goal kick. Turning it over allows for this Man City team to be caught without the ball, which is what they don't want to be doing.
Kevin De Bruyne Marmoush's movement that time was clever. It created space for De Bruyne, works it out towards Grealish. Grealish looking to set the seal on. He sets up De Bruyne, right-footed effort from him. McAtee straight at Kepa Arrizabalaga, who's going the wrong way. But McAtee couldn't divert it either side of him, really, and Kepa, with good reactions, made the save. And Bournemouth are still in it. 5 to go. They've got to throw on halfway.
Oh, again. Man City will feel that that should have been game, set, match. Pep certainly does down in front of us. But they're going to have to deal with a few long balls coming in now and go get their head on first contacts. But they've got to kill this Bournemouth team off on the counter-attack.
Kluivert bringing the ball forward here for Bournemouth. Exchanging passes with Adams. Kluivert's ball inside the penalty area is headed away. Grealish. And then as Diaz tries to bring the ball forward, he made sure that he invited contact. Nico Gonzalez, I beg your pardon, invited contact with James Hill and has won the free kick, and that will just allow City the opportunity to run a few more seconds off the clock. 4 minutes of stoppage time to go.
Yeah, just watch it down, and as been pointed out by my esteemed colleague to my right, Kevin De Bruyne is absolutely knackered. He can't run anymore in front of us. What a performance, what a professional and real quality performance he's delivered today. And being the captain of this Man City team, he deserves to have a little stroll, but he's emptied the tank today.
Nunes a couple of yards in for the right-hand touchline. De Bruyne still going, made a run past him. Nunes used that as a decoy, turned back inside and was fouled by Kluivert, who maybe a little bit overzealously helps him back to his feet. There was a grin from Kluivert as he did that. Was the smiling assassin. Now it is a free kick taken by Silva in towards Marmoush inside the penalty area. He's gone to ground. The challenge from Zabani was clean, and he then clears, although De Bruyne has blocked it. So it comes out for Nico Gonzalez, 20 yards outside the area. 3 to go in stoppage time. Manchester City leading 2-1, looking comfortable and with possession in the Bournemouth final third. Gonzalez to Grealish, to McAtee, urged to shoot. Rolling in De Bruyne instead on the right-hand side of the area, and the corner flag is Nirvana here for him. No thought about trying to get it inside the box. Took it down towards the corner flag. Hill won it back and was then fouled. Play goes on with Adams' clearance upfield. Jefferson is in strongly. He's fouled by the retreating McAtee, and the referee eventually puts whistle to mouth after playing a whole host of advantages there. Produces a yellow card for, I think, McAtee's challenge. And it's going to be a free kick to Arrizabalaga, 10 yards inside his own half with 2 and a bit to go.
That's not Man City doing the dark arts, is it? Making fouls when people are running on? Love it. Just get the job done, boys. That's what they're thinking now. It's great to see the best in the game just having that winning edge, that killer mentality.
Arrizabalaga sending a long ball forward, which is headed on towards Scott on the edge of the box and cleared. Lewis Cook's the last man back for Bournemouth. He's got to go all the way back for Arrizabalaga again, who takes a touch. He's 10 yards outside his own penalty area. And the Bournemouth keeper in all yellow throws a long ball forward. Looks as though Jefferson was pushed to the ground. Iraola certainly saw it that way. Oh, out comes Arrizabalaga here with De Bruyne chasing. Zabani left it for him. Arrizabalaga playing at left back. But adrenaline coursing through his veins. He's overhit the ball forward for Semenyo. And it'll roll all the way through to Edison away to our left-hand side. There are only 90 seconds left now for Bournemouth to find an equaliser.
Yeah, it's great from Kevin De Bruyne again. Just been put into the corner from Bernardo Silva. And Kevin De Bruyne, he's earned this ice bath afterwards, I'll tell you that. There's no way he should have got near that ball. Luckily for Bournemouth, it worked out for Kepa's favour. But they just need to keep the ball now for 30 seconds or so, and this will be job done. Going into this last minute, Bournemouth need something, need a bit of magic from somebody. There's no real quality at the moment in this second half. It's been a lot of long ball and hopeful football for Bournemouth, which you haven't said that about them at any point this season, but now they're a little bit desperate.
Lewis Cook sends another one skied into Manchester City territory, but City are winning all of those easily. It's Gvardiol that time, and then Grealish tries to get the ball past Adams, goes to ground, no foul. Another hopeful ball forward from Bournemouth that is painting by numbers to an extent now from them. And then Kluivert comes back has given a free kick away, and 10 yards inside his own half. It's going to be a free kick that Nunes will take with 10 seconds to go. Free kick that Manchester City will look to take from inside their own half. And the City fans singing of Wembley. They're very nearly there. They're seconds away. Free kick knocked forward. Hill chests it down and returns it, drills it straight out of play past Kluivert. And that's going to be that. But one of the most torrid afternoons of Manchester City's season came here at the Vitality, where they were beaten for the first time in 33 Premier League games. The first defeat they've had to Bournemouth in their history. They've come back here 4 months later and exacted revenge. Didn't look as though that was going to be the case when Haaland missed a penalty and Evan Nielsen gave the Cherries the lead. But a much improved second half performance got them over the line. Haaland equalising before going off through injury. Marmoush scoring the winner. O'Reilly, who come on at half-time, was brilliant. And Manchester City still in with a chance of salvaging something this season by winning some silverware. Kepa Arrizabalaga won't want to see the winning goal again, but Bournemouth ran out of steam. City much the better side over the 90 minutes, and they've won by 2-1 to set up an FA Cup semi-final against Nottingham Forest at Wembley.
Jim, thanks very much. What a fantastic game of football we've just brought you on Talksport, exclusively live. And that beetroot face of Kevin De Bruyne, somehow he's found the energy to go over to the City fans celebrating in the sun on that far side to thank them for their support, which was unwavering even when they were one down. But Kevin De Bruyne, I just don't know how he has found the energy to play 97 minutes up and down centre mid, trying to create, trying to defend. He's going back over to the fans again, Troy Deeney. I just don't understand how he is doing it. Sensational from him.
No, I think it's excellent. I think that's just shows a sign of the quality of the man and the individual. There's so many times, Ed, in there he could have rested on his laurels, not gone to press the goalkeeper, not run 20-30 yards past people to go and get the ball. But he's a winner, and that's what Man City need. They need to lean into these older players to show these young players what to do. I said it on air, I'll say it again. Man of the match has to be Nico O'Reilly. What a performance from the young man. Everybody else will take their credit and their plaudits. Well done, Jack Grealish. Well done, Marmoush, for coming on. But Nico O'Reilly, unbelievable performance.
Make no mistake, Pep Guardiola's over with the fans. He's had a nice little touch. He's had a quiet word with David Brooks in the middle of the pitch. Lovely from Pep Guardiola. He's gone over and truly celebrating with the Man City fans now. All the City players are over there. Pep Guardiola enjoying this victory more than most this season. And a big hug for Nico O'Reilly, who, by the way, is massive. And he's pushing him to the Man City fans, Nico O'Reilly. He celebrates with those fans as well as they sing his name, and a big smile on his face. He was brilliant, assisted the equaliser, assisted the winner. He's from North Manchester, grew up a City fan in a family divided between United and City. Man United first scouted him. After that, City, Liverpool, Everton all showed an interest, and at around under 8 level he had a choice to make, City or United. He chose City because the training was better. Even this January there was talk of Chelsea trying to step in and take him. Pep Guardiola personally intervened, said no, he's staying here. City could have made £40 million, and bearing in mind PSR demands, that's a huge amount of money. But Nico O'Reilly stayed, and effectively, Troy Deeney, I mean, let's give Pep Guardiola some credit for basically out-coaching Areola in the second half. But Nico O'Reilly's performance, the way he took on the role he was asked to do, came out early at half-time warming up, and then really got into the swing of it, and he's basically turned this tie around.
Absolutely, as I said on there, mate, the balance that he brought, the desire, that delivery, the quality, everything about it. I'm just really interested watching Pep Guardiola. You just mentioned it there, but the way he's trying to get the fan base back on side, it clearly feels there's been an emotional disconnection between the fan base and the team. And he's seen his last 10-15 games now, chance to win the FA Cup and finishes in the Champions League. He knows this needs to be a big push for what they want to go and re-achieve next season. So excellent day for him, excellent day for Man City as a whole.
Yeah, Phil Foden was giving his shirt to one of the crowd as well there. That connect is back between, if it ever went away in full, between the City fans and the City team and the manager as well. And they're clinging on. They are clinging on. At half-time we were thinking they were going out. This is going to be a trophyless season for Manchester City, but they're still in there and still fighting, Troy.
Yeah, that's what I said to you at half-time. I feel like they were nearly bottoming out. But again, that 15 minutes which we spoke about, Aid, for Pep to make those couple of changes to bring Kushnerov off is a big statement. He brought him in as well, £50 million. He's been really poor since he's come in. Struggled with the pace, takes him off, takes him out the line of fire. But to bring Nico O'Reilly on, move Guardiola inside, that might be the moment that sets this Man City team up. I could expect that back four moving forward. An area they're going to have to deal with in the future is definitely at right back. But for now, you'd be worried playing that Man City team of the second half, especially because Haaland went out, Marmoush came in, still offered you that threat in behind, and he scored the goal. So for me, worrying signs for the rest of the Premier League that even though they're at their worst, they could potentially win an FA Cup and finish in the top four.
Yeah,
Not bad.
Last man down the tunnel was Nico O'Reilly. What a day he has had. If there was any doubts before, there won't be any doubts anymore. This player, this youngster, has arrived on the scene for Manchester City.